Hello and welcome to a new episode of the Game Informer Show. I'm Ben Hansen, joined by Leo Vader.
Hello.
Out of the booth, now a real man, we have Joe Juba.
That's me.
And Jeff Cork.
Hello.
Welcome, everybody. We have a hell of a show. Talking about our new cover story, Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yeah. Woo.
You guys all went on the trip. Leo, you went on the trip.
Yeah, we were all together. We bonded.
Oh, my gosh. All right, let's talk all about it. Some exclusive details. Can we promise that at this point?
Yeah.
There we go. All exclusives. And then after that, we're going to talk a little bit about Overcooked 2, Dead Cells, Red Dead Redemption 2's new gameplay trailer, which is very exciting. Don't look at me that way, Cork. Maybe Call of Duty Black Ops 4's beta, Monster Hunter on PC, We Happy Few, fun community emails. The back half of the show, we're talking about the Super Smash Bros. Direct, which was just lovely, and then segueing that into a big conversation about Evo, which I think Sergio Vasquez was at.
Yeah.
If you watch the footage, he was the one in the front row with his shirt off. I think he had some... I think it was
Daigo written on his chest, but he misspelled it, which was awkward.
It was embarrassing, yeah. So we'll ask him all about that. That's back half of the show.
I thought he was the guy in the Sonic Fox costume.
No proof he wasn't.
Right.
Okay, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Here we go, everybody. A couple weeks ago, you guys went up to Quebec, beautiful Quebec, to check out the game, play the game. Tell me everything. What did you actually get to see or play?
Who wants to start?
Why don't you start? We'll go from right to left.
We saw a lot. They sat us down. We talked to a lot of the minds behind the game. We saw a lot of very good presentations and a lot of gameplay, a lot of which we took back with us. So we saw them playing the game in the different styles you can play it. Like there's the hunter path, which is bow focused. There's the warrior, which is like up close, loud. And there's the assassin path, which is... Do you want to guess?
Is it sneaky? Wait, I was there. It is.
Oh,
yes,
my God,
it is.
sneaky.
Yeah. Joe, and one of the things I want to point out about it, too, is that, like, if you played Origins, like last year's entry, a lot of it is going to seem familiar because it's, like, follows a similar kind of formula, but it also seems like it's going deeper and getting in some of the things that, like, so for me personally, I was a little disappointed by Origins. It was a good game. I enjoyed playing it, but it also wasn't exactly... Like, when I think Assassin's Creed, it didn't necessarily capture the pillars of, like, what I'm looking for in that experience, at least based on previous installments.
Right.
This one's getting back to some of those things in a little more of a, like, in a stronger way. There are, like, more... Yeah, there are, like, more kind of, like, other loops you can pursue. Things like the ship combat and exploration stuff is coming back in a bigger way. There's kind of a like recruitment system, a little like Metal Gear Solid 5 even.
Yeah.
Like you can you can like you're basically like you can tranquilize and recruit people basically. And
that seems I'm interested in that idea because it seems like correct me if I'm wrong here, but it seems like Leo and maybe a little bit Cork, you guys really enjoyed Origins because it was less Assassin's Creedy. It kind of felt like a breath of fresh air. Am I reading that correctly?
I don't think I liked it because of that. I just didn't dislike it because it was not like previous Assassin's Creed. Like, I really like Syndicate a lot.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, but I also like Origins a lot. But I can understand what Joe's saying in that, like, if you really enjoyed the Assassin's Creed formula, you get tripped up a little bit with Origins because it's a lot different.
Yeah.
And this is also, we should point out, we all share a love of Syndicate. And this is the same studio that made that one.
Did you get to geek out about Syndicate at all?
A little bit, yeah. But it's also interesting because, like, at one point we asked them, like, we did straight up ask, like, is there, like, do you ever want to make Syndicate 2, right? And the response was a sort of like, I think Syndicate is a good sort of high point for that style of Assassin's Creed game.
But we've moved on. Is kind of the
it's moved on, yeah.
Plus, where do you even set it? You know, that would be a tricky thing.
The Old West.
And they also seem just generally more excited and invested in sort of, you know, pushing the series forward in different ways, I guess, which I can understand.
Did you get a sense of like the amount of communication between them and Montreal working on Origins? Because it feels so Origins-y. But the whole thing with Origins is like, oh, this is like, we took a year off. This is a big build up to this thing. So in theory, as they're ramping up with Origins, they're also ramping up secretly with round 2 with this thing here.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't get explicit about the stuff like that, but the sense that you get is that even though there's one particular studio that's kind of taking the lead on any given Assassin's Creed game, it seems like just Ubisoft as an entity is fully invested in every one of those entries, right? Like there are multiple studios that are helping out in other ways. There's a sort of creative, as far as I can tell, I think that like even though there's someone who might be the creative director on a particular game, I think there's like a franchise guidance creative team.
Right.
That's
It's
sort
like
of,
Jean Guston or whatever his name is in Montreal. Yeah.
So because of that, I think that there's just always, it seems like there's always various kinds of communication about that franchise among all the studios that are working on it in various different capacities.
Especially because like you have elements that certainly could work in isolation, but when you've got the modern day stuff, which is kind of a thread that goes between them, it would be absurd for there not to be some kind of communication to be like, hey, well, you have to wait till it comes out to play it to see what happens with Layla.
That'd be like mapping out a Star Wars trilogy where every director gets to do whatever they want to do. That'd be insanity. Yeah. So it's interesting because Leo and Cork, you guys actually went up there for a preview event and got to play, what, like 4 or 5 hours of the game?
Yeah, 5 hours apiece.
An absurd amount. We already covered a little bit on the podcast. So now this second round, what did you learn that was the most exciting? What was the biggest surprise, I guess, from this visit?
You know me.
Uh-huh.
I'm a stealth boy.
Yeah, actually, we never see you go into the office. It's just suddenly we turn around and you're back there at your standing desk.
That's right. I never wear shoes. Tiptoeing around. When we played it for that preview event, I tried to be as stealthy as possible, and I found it very hard to do.
Huh.
I wasn't very effective because, obviously, controversial point about Origins and following up with this one, everybody's got health bars. You can't guarantee one-hit kill everybody when you're coming from stealth.
Okay.
Which would be a little overpowered in the context of what this game is.
Yeah.
But still, I'm a stealth boy.
That's not our job.
Exactly.
Like, figuring out that design isn't our job. It should be fun. You should be able to jump down and stab someone and they're done.
Right, especially in a single-player game.
Yeah.
Who cares if it's overpowered?
Yeah.
But from what they showed us, going from the start, building an assassin character, putting your skill points in the assassin path, not just in each skill, but multiple points in each skill. So the critical assassination, which is just holding Y, that can do up to 300% of your assassin damage. So like if you can only do a third of the health bar, if you do that critical assassinate, that's a one-hit kill. But
So effectively, okay.
you need bar to do it. You need adrenaline. And you build that up by doing assassinations on the smaller guys.
Okay.
So there's the kind of stealth loop of going into a base, taking out the smaller guys, building up bar, and then taking out the bigger guys.
Do they call it building up bar?
No, that's a solely
Is that a Leo
thing.
What the hell are you talking about?
He's a stealth boy and a bar boy.
Like
Like you never built up bar before.
Bar.
They're fond of calling it adrenaline.
Okay, thank you.
internally.
All right.
yeah.
Sure. But yes, and outfits and stuff that buff your assassin abilities, it seems way more viable than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, that's nice. All
We saw
right.
proof of them doing it.
Okay, so stealth
great.
excited Leo.
Yes.
Let's see, building up a squad, Metal Gear Solid 5 style, excited Joe. And what excited you, Jeff Quirk?
I like. I'm a hunter kind of guy. I like to use a
hunter
bow.
guy,
I'm
yeah.
a hunter guy. And one of the things they've done is streamlined the weapon inventory a little bit, so you don't have multiple types of bows. You just have a bow or multiple bows that you can get with different specs and everything. But
You equip one bow.
you equip one bow at a time, but you shoot different arrows that you can. You've got like skills that you assign. So like, okay, I want to shoot a bunch of arrows quickly. I want to shoot like a arrow that I can shoot and steer in the air. So like the functionality is still there, but it isn't tied necessarily to a specific type of bow. And the thing I think I'm most excited about is they've got a ghost arrow skill.
Okay.
You got to build up bar before
You got to
can
build
use
up.
it.
a
Gotta
bar
get that
for it.
bar for Ghost.
But
okay.
it's basically you shoot it and it's some kind of magical thing that will go through cliffs and rock and walls and everything and just it's like a straight laser.
Yeah, it's like a phase arrow or something. It's
Yeah.
just,
I love it.
Yeah.
It seems like they're really pushing the boundaries of, look, it's historically accurate-ish,
This
but we're
is
going to
a
have some
video
fun.
game.
It's
Yeah.
what if you were a superhero in a real version of ancient Greece?
Is
which
that their
fun.
pitch?
Not exactly their pitch. That's what
Okay.
I got out of it.
Yeah, I was also confused by like they haven't said anything about gods or any sort of mysticism in this game so far, right?
right.
Okay.
But I mean, some of that is tied to the fact, like, I guess I don't know for sure what that will be other than, like, yeah, there are temples around that people worship or whatever, but, like...
Well, they showed a Minotaur in the first trailer, right? I think they teased a Minotaur. Am I nuts?
Are you nuts?
Yeah, they did.
Okay, thank you. All right,
don't
so there's
remember
something
that.
like that.
Well, the Assassin's Creed take generally is like, here's the Joker who put on a mask and everybody made a big myth out of it.
Right, right.
So that could still be what's happening.
Yeah, usually, like, the Assassin's Creed explanation for anything, like religious or supernatural is, like, it has to do with the first civilization and their artifacts.
it's just a
so-
catch-all bucket of, first Civ type stuff.
Yeah.
Two other minor changes
Yeah.
that are worth mentioning, I guess. No shields anymore.
Yeah.
right? You're just blocking with your weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
Don't try that in real
Okay.
life. That sounds
And
like a disaster.
As you level up, you stop taking fall damage.
Yes.
You can basically eagle dive from anywhere. You do a front flip, land on your feet, and you're fine.
On your feet?
On your feet. Yeah.
Does it make a boing sound or anything?
It's snapping twigs. He goes, ah. Or she.
Right,
Yeah.
naturally, yeah. 'Cause you can choose your character in the beginning of this game.
Correct.
Got it. Joe, feeling good about it?
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. It seems like the sort of thing. I mean, we'll have another feature on this coming up here shortly, but like the mercenaries system is something that's really cool, which is something that's kind of like the Falakis in the first game, the like high, like not necessarily high level, but like challenging encounters out in the world that you sort of like you progress through and sort of raise in the ranks, and yeah, that system seems very exciting.
Okay. It's got plenty of systems in there. That's cool.
I like systems.
I got it. What else is coming up throughout the month? For the month
coverage?
of coverage. Thank you.
Yeah, great.
I'm going to Gamescom.
That sounds exciting.
We got a video about the recruitment, which maybe we should temper expectations a little bit. It's kind of a light version of Metal Gear Solid 5. It's not full on that. It's its own
Right.
take on it. It's
Right.
mostly feeds into the naval and buffs for that.
Okay.
But we'll have
Yeah.
full details about that coming up.
Yeah, it's not like there's no mother base that you're doing a whole R&D thing. And all
Okay.
that, but
Right.
Gotcha.
still interesting.
Cool. Anything else fun?
Yeah, more about the stealth and the way you play, which is my little baby.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm a stealth boy.
Yeah, Leo, we got it. We got it. Your mic isn't even on. That's how stealthy you are in this segment. Cool. Gameformer.com/.
AC Odyssey.
Oh, that's beautiful. Joe, any other thoughts you want to get off your chest?
Just spell Odyssey correctly. If you're like me and you've had to write about Oddworld A's Odyssey at any point,
Right.
there are two separate spellings for that
Yeah.
word that I can never get straight.
You have grounds to sue at this point.
I think so, yeah.
Remember when they were remaking Abe's Exodus like 4 years ago and they haven't mentioned it in a year and a half, 2 years?
Yeah, they were going to do it like new and tasty, right?
Yeah, but it kind of expand on Exodus even more. It is not a peep. What's going on over there?
I'm okay with that.
Come on, Mr. Lanning.
Find out this month at Game Informer.
/AC Odyssey. Real quick, too, since you guys all seem to like these games, we got an exclusive look at a new Jackbox Party Pack 5 game.
Yes.
Yes.
It's so
Patently
fun.
stupid. So far with the reveal, there's 5 games in here. But you don't know Jack is coming back, which I'm actually strangely excited about it the more I think about it. Like, Fibbage is great, but just having like a straight trivia game, as straight as you don't know Jack is, like
It's a little skewed.
a little funky.
yeah.
And then there's a robot rap battling game.
We played that off camera.
We did play it off camera.
Very
So
fun.
you're like typing in rhymes, and then the robots perform it, and it is very stupid to hear.
Yeah.
Especially
I
if
love
Ben
it.
Reeves has written some rhymes.
Make sure you know what a preposition is, because it might ask you.
It's like Mad Libs, like they'll like prompt you, and then
Yeah.
Leo's rhyme was something about how he didn't know what a preposition was.
I put it's.
The most rhymable word. But patently stupid is the one that we have a new gameplay today video showing off. And it's exciting because it reminds me of Nathan For You, where it's just coming up with absurd inventions.
Yes.
Like, hey, here's the problem.
Yep.
Come up with a fix. And you then draw it out, which is like a fun combo. So it's like writing prompts, then drawing, and then performing your sales
Yes,
pitch.
the presentation aspect is
Yeah.
super fun.
Yeah, you choose the order that your different items come out in, like the tagline and the name and
Yeah.
the drawing and stuff.
Right.
It reminds me of the board game Snake Oil, if anyone's familiar with that.
Okay.
There's a similar
not.
presentation aspect. Very fun.
Yeah.
I watched the video yesterday and,
did you?
and laughed through it. I
Oh,
liked it.
good. Oh, thank you so much. The Bouncing Bucket 2.0 is really a brilliant choice, Jeff Cork. Okay, for now, let's see. Cork, do you want to stay? And then Joe and Leo, do you guys want to clap out?
Yeah, I want to leave.
See ya.
1, 2, 3.
Hey, everybody. Overcooked 2, everybody.
Wow, overwrought.
There we go. Jeff Markifava, Kyle Hilliard.
Gotta sell it, Kyle.
Jeff, I'm so excited you're here.
So am I.
You guys played Overcooked 2 with the great Andrew Reiner, who gave it a hot 8.0 review score. But you played it right by my desk, and there's a lot of shouting and yelling,
Cooperation.
screaming, cooperation,
Teamwork.
I guess. Yeah. Overcooked 2,
Yes.
lovely. Essentially Overcooked 1 with a couple additions, or where are we at with this thing?
Important additions.
I think you got it. Let's move on to the next
No,
segment.
come on. What's interesting about this game?
You can throw food.
Okay.
And that does change things because it makes things move faster, and then you can actually throw things into like pots from across the room and stuff like that, which is fun. But
Sometimes.
it doesn't radically change the core.
Are you throwing like every single round now?
Yeah, I think so.
It's a function that you always have.
yeah.
Okay.
You throw raw food. You can't throw cooked food or plates.
Right.
But you can toss carrots to Cork to chop up, and you can toss them back to
Or
you.
toss
and-
rice right into the bowl.
Yeah.
to get steamed. That's what you call that thing,
it
right?
speeds everything up. It's like the dash in Mega Man X.
Naturally. Okay. I can't see why you'd possibly make that comparison. But yeah, so co-op cooking game, if you've never seen Overcooked, it's big. So 2 to 4 players, and it scales, right? So you can technically play with 2.
I think you could play solo too, couldn't you? If
Yeah,
If
one
you're a
Dorito.
maniac. I mean, no one wants to do that. Don't do
doesn't
that.
work very well.
Jeff, do you still like these games?
I do. And I like this one more.
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's one of those games where it's more of a good thing. And so I didn't have any complaints in that regard. The other biggest thing I'd say that they change, I mean, each level has its own gimmick. So you have 30 new levels or whatever that each have its own twist. But the other big thing for me was they really smoothed out the progression where, you had to have a certain number of stars to unlock the next level. And in the first game, that really got to be a pain. Like you had to 3-star a lot of ones. And so I played the game with my wife, who doesn't play a lot of games, and so we got to the point where it was like, okay, which one do we have to go back to, or which 3 levels do we have to go back to and grind out 1 extra star in order to just finish the game. And when we were playing this one, and we had the same problem. We helped Reiner the first time he reviewed it, so even experienced hardcore gamers or whatever you want to
All right. We don't want to say that.
No,
but thank you.
Yes. Well, I used air quotes. They can't hear that in the audio. Maybe they could hear the swishing. Anyway, point is, we still had that problem in the first games, but in this one we had plenty of stars by the end, and so they kind of smoothed that
It's
out.
not that it's easier. It's just smoother.
Yeah, the requirements aren't as bad going forward.
But I think we
You
kind
don't
of
feel forced to replay things.
No.
Right.
Yes.
The 3 of us, we also kind of hit a cadence where we would start a level, see where things were, kind of come up with a plan, and then restart it. So we like mess around for like 45 seconds, and then once we like kind of wrapped our minds around what we were
figured out
required to
the
do,
new way we were going to screw up that level.
Naturally,
and then
yeah.
fix that.
but we were pretty good. I think once you get communication down, you're like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Someone needs to do this. Like, I think we work really well together.
Yeah.
And
We should open up our own restaurant.
there were a lot of them where we're just like, I never want to do this level again. And then we have the results screen. It's like 3 stars. You're like, perfect. I never have to do it again.
That sounds like an ideal game. Please, for the love of God, don't make me do this section again.
Exactly.
8.0. Fantastic. Overcooked 2. Jeff, anything else you've been playing? Anything else you want to say?
No.
All right. Do you and the other Jeff want to clap the hell out of here?
I want nothing more.
All right. Bad boys are back in town. We got Dan Tack and JV Gwaltney here.
Yeah.
Hey, guys. Look out. It's going to be a jailbreak, these fellas.
It's a real big show.
Here we go. Speaking of jails, Dead Cells
Oh, God, yes.
finally came out of early access.
Yes, please.
Okay, so this thing, we did a video on it, was it 2 years ago,
Very
Dan?
long time. As soon as it went into early access, we were on top of it.
Right. This
Yeah.
is a, help me out, JV, give me the genres.
It's a beautiful roguelike.
Beautiful roguelike, Castlevania
Procedurally generated. They've clearly played Castlevania at some point in their lives.
Okay,
And
great.
said,
The
you know what
modern-
I don't
yeah.
need is well hand-designed levels. Get those
Oh,
out of
interesting.
here.
All right, well, you're tipping your hand a little bit. But this game is out of early access now on everything.
Everything,
Although I hear
yeah.
the Switch version chugs a little bit.
Yeah, it
That's-
checks a little bit. It's not like egregious, but it's definitely noticeable.
Perfectly
Okay.
playable, but every now and then, yeah.
And Andrew Renner reviewed it again, but again, he's out of the office for QuakeCon, but he gave it a 9.0. He seemed to like it a lot. How much have you guys played?
I've played about 10 hours of it. It's
Okay.
definitely one of those games where there are certain games, Binding of Isaac falls into it too, where it hits that just one more hour sort of like thing for me. So it'll be 2 a.m. and I'll be like, okay, I just need to do one more run.
Right.
And then I finally go to bed at 4 or something. And it's rare for me to play a game that's, that's as good as that and also like just feeds into sort of my impulses in that way.
Right.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. Like,
What are those impulses?
Constantly wanting to be more powerful in that particular game.
No
It's
kidding.
it's really good. I think the best thing I can say about Dead Cells that puts it above other roguelites for me, except maybe Binding of Isaac, because it does this well too, is it goes from 0 to 60 really fast. Every time you lose everything and you have to start from nothing, like you get to feel powerful within like 5 minutes.
Okay, help me out with this. I've only played maybe like an hour or so, but are you... This is a very naive question. You're starting from the beginning every single time because the teleporters are just kind of like a one-way street?
Okay. So I've got like 20
Help me.
hours in. all
Please
right?
help us, Dan.
It is fantastic, the progression loop that this game has, that can even attract people who hate the concept of roguelikes, where you lose everything. So you don't lose.
Hey, Kyle. All right.
You do not
I just
lose.
don't want him to say broad everyone.
I'm going to.
You'll have your time later,
I'm
Kyle.
going to because this is the best roguelike I've ever played.
Really?
Hands down.
Yeah,
Hands
I'd
down.
say so.
This is a masterpiece. This is
Wow.
a gamer's game. Okay? This thing,
For us hardcore
Can we
gamers.
put that on the box?
this is the shit. All right? This game is amazing. This game is incredible. It just does such a great job balancing the aspects of permanent progression and the game-to-game differentiation and variance. So you've got you do have permanent unlocks that will make you more powerful every playthrough. Those are permanent.
Stuff like you can hold on to your money.
You're going to hold on to money.
More
you're gonna-
health flasks.
You're going to get more
Yeah.
health flasks. These are all very, very big upgrades. Eventually, as you start killing more bosses, you'll start to get things like you can find superior items, double superior items, and then like triple superior items, like god tier items. Those don't appear until you start making those permanent progression unlocks. And it is literal power progression under the guise of this sort of, but you have to start from zero. You're never starting from zero. And as you get better, it offers you these really masterful opportunities. It's like, maybe I don't want to farm, kill everything through a level. Just speed through it. You get rewarded for that with the unlock doors. So I don't ever have to play through the level like I used to. I just run through, and I get all the cells and level ups that I would get normally from the unlock door because I know what time I have to beat levels in.
Yeah, an unlocked door is like a door that you have like a certain amount of time to get through before it closes
Like
for
if I
that
kill,
run.
if I
Oh,
kill
so
the
if you
first
just speed
boss,
through, you don't have to just hassle with that first level over
so
and
once
over
you've
again.
got the muscle memory and the way the procedural Lego blocks, because they're not purely procedural, right? There's kind of like, I'll take this Tetris block and stick it with this Tetris block, and
It seemed like in the second level, if you want to call it that, where it's like it's got the big swinging.
it's not
mines or
necessarily
whatever?
the second level. It could be.
Oh, really?
There are
Okay.
multiple
Yeah.
paths you can take from that first level, and that's
Oh.
that's where the Metroidvania sort of comes in. There are at least four distinct abilities that change the way that you can interact with terrain in order to not only make you stronger against enemies, but move around the map differently and take different paths.
Interesting. Is one of them that weird monster that asks to be tickled or whatever?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Is that really?
There's this thing that you can unlock.
I mean, the
too.
vines?
Yeah, it's a vine.
That's the first thing. You'll get the
Yeah.
ability to summon vines that go up and create paths. You also get the ability to smash downward through blocks, like Link Sword kind of thing.
Okay.
And the ability to wall climb is one of the last ones you get. Very useful. And then, of course, coffin teleportation is another one.
Yeah.
Yes. There's so many good things. And I don't have enough good things to say about this game.
Really?
Yeah, I actually really agree with Dan in a rare instance.
God.
But I think what I like most about it is the tactical leeway the game gives you to, because on a very superficial level, when you load it up the first time, it looks like sort of like a hack and slash sort of affair where you're forced to like use your sword and your bow and arrow, but like you get traps and stuff too. One of my favorite things is just to keep using traps. Like one of them shoots arrows constantly and never runs out, and they do very small bits of damage, but they're good for distracting enemies. Another one is you can like pop saw blades on the ground that do a lot of damage.
Interesting.
So you
Okay.
can just like be jumping around and evading enemy fire and throwing traps everywhere, and it's super fun. Or you can like sort of camp 2 levels above and just chuck grenades down there. So there's a lot of time where you don't even have to get up in enemies' faces, where you can just sort of tackle things from afar if if you want to play that way.
And you're constantly unlocking new ways to play, which is the fascinating part. Like you're constantly finding recipes, new secret areas. These things can affect how you choose to build your character out on the next run.
Yeah. Now, Kyle, does your just passionate hatred for this game go beyond just I don't like procedural generation?
Yeah. I don't know. It's tough to say. Like, and it's not that I passionately hate this game. I've been getting into it. I've been playing. I've been getting into it on Switch. I've got as a good like measurement of how far I've gotten. Like I've gotten the coffin transportation. I've gotten the vine growing and stuff like that. But there is like that sort of statement of like, oh, even if you don't like roguelites, like this will fix everything. Like there's you're still going through that prison over and over and over, and it's still like it's not. I don't feel engaged with that prison. Like the slight rearrangement just makes it like, well, I hope I go the right way. Oh, I got this cool unlock. Well,
But it's a very well-made game for
I hope I
genre.
get to. Yeah,
So
it
for the
plays
first-
really
so for the
well.
first prison-
It like I love the way it moves. I love the combat feels great. But it's like I unlock things, and this is really a genre issue, not really like an issue I put in quotes. Like some people don't mind this at all.
Right.
But it's like I feel like I'm not really getting to always use the unlocks. I find like the levels will have like dead ends that like just feel random, and it's kind of frustrating. It's like there's no like art to the level design really. Like you can see familiar pieces being put together, but there's so often that I'm like, oh, I went through this door, There wasn't anything in
There
here,
is a.
you know?
There are rule sets to that procedural generation that you will discover as you
Yeah.
play more.
But like even like sprinting to the next area is kind of like, well, it's like I hope I took the right path this time to make it. You know, like that's because that's the point in the game that I'm at now is like just sprinting through the prison. But I'm still just like sprinting through this like slightly different version of a prison every time, you know? And that's across the genre. That's like a typical thing,
Right.
you know?
But if you don't shut up right now, Dantek's going to take a swing at you.
I know.
So I can understand Kyle's concern. I'm gonna allow it.
My
This isn't a
concern.
courtroom, Dan. You can
I guess
unwind a little.
The caveat when I said, even people that don't like roguelikes will like it, I mean that you don't lose everything. There is that permanent progression unlock. So even if you're getting
There are
trounced
some,
over and
yeah.
over, you will eventually get too powerful. You can man mode it. You can eventually just
You gain things by playing it over and over.
correct.
You
You
do,
gain enough
yeah.
power so that even if you are not able to play the game on its terms, you can play it on your terms. Like a Dark Souls where you level up to 100 and just smash things in the face.
Did you say like Dark Souls?
Oh my God, Dantek.
It happened!
Do we have
He's
a sound
embracing
effect?
the comparison! Put in the sound effect!
It was just an example of over-leveling content, but
Yeah.
yes.
I really like when Dan like tries to sell people on a game because it also feels like at the end of his pitch he's going to try and sell me like a used Camry.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
at the very end.
There's a Camry involved in this.
Yeah.
But
What,
I am enjoying it. I'm still playing it. I am like finding like, yeah, I do want to do one more, which is more than I've ever gotten from anything like Binding of Isaac. Like that
Right.
game just frustrates me to no end.
Sure.
But because the combat and movement in this game feels so good, I have been continuing to go back to it and have been enjoying it.
But it's just a bunch of rooms, Kyle Hilliard says, JV Gwaltney.
That's what it feels like.
There are
It's
lore-
okay to be
there
wrong,
are lore
Kyle.
rooms
It's
too.
all right.
Have you
It's also like I won't say the name of the game because I think I can't quite yet. But there's another game that is very Metroid-y that I found significantly more satisfying that is coming up soon.
Which is designed, crafted by
It is
hand.
designed. It is a handcrafted world. You get to keep everything that you find, and it's very rewarding
Are we
to
talking about Mega
explore.
Man X again?
You got me, JB.
Yeah, you really got it. It sounds muy bueno. Dantek, how different is this from the early access version of the game?
You know what? A lot has changed in terms of pretty much everything. There's more permanent progression. They've definitely toned down some of the things. Like, I think it was more hardcore before, and I like it. I think it strikes the perfect balance right now for both the hardcore speed running. I want to destroy everything, and I'm the perfect dodger, and I've got my iframes down to a science. And the person who's just like, all right, I didn't make it this time, but I unlocked some really cool new stuff, and next time I'm gonna do it, and you will.
And you will.
And you will.
Dan, are we talking this is like Game of the Year type territory for you?
It is certainly for me.
Yeah, it's
Number one for you?
This is a Dan Tech game, like for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think everyone else is going to put it on their list, but
But
like-
you're enjoying this game more than God of War.
okay. So God of War is a fantastic game.
Well, apparently I heard that boat ride is unbearable, but
Right,
everything else.
there's no insufferable boat rides here.
insufferable.
That was the word I used. All right. I've come around a little
Equally
bit.
as egregious.
it's like number 2 for me. I feel like
Really?
Yeah. Well, maybe Monster Hunter. It's 2 or 3.
Okay.
Yeah, but God of War still peaked
It's
for me.
on my list and it's high. And we didn't even
Wow.
talk about one of the other cool things.
Yes.
You can only do it on PC, I think. But it's the Twitch integration, and I think this is going to be
Oh, what is that?
a new big thing for games going forward. This game does it very well. I mean, people have bandied about with it in the past, like Vermintide 2, other games. Let the audience participate. So in this
Rise
game,
of the Tomb Raider, you can give her some supply drops or something.
Can
Wasn't
you?
there? I think
iDarb.
so. There was
Yeah.
some weird stuff like that.
so this, if you want to, this makes the game substantially harder, by the way, but it makes it more fun. So you can give chat the ability to heal you. You can't heal yourself. Only a certain assigned person in chat can trigger your heal.
And you assign who that is?
No, they vote on it at the beginning of a round.
That's so smart.
So you've got a little bird following you around that can talk to you and is the only one that has your heal. So you don't have to manually trigger your heal, which is a big bonus because you don't have to hold it down and stop. But only that one person.
I like
is
that.
And so
your- is your-
chat's
is your
just like
guardian
screaming
angel.
like, no. They're
Yes.
like, wait for it, wait
Yep.
for it.
Or they just won't give it to you at all, which is a lot of what
That's so
people do.
funny.
Other than
cool. I
that,
like
there's
that.
like Twitch chest. So the Twitch chat has to open the chest by typing like biff, pow, womp, etc.
This is very smart stuff.
Going further than that, they can
Please.
take over the boss.
No.
Now this doesn't.
Wait, was that a nice or a what?
The
or
boss
a no?
gets their standard rule set, all of their standard moves,
All 3.
but additional abilities that whoever is controlling the boss can do,
Oh, f off.
like shooting out a horde of zombies or bees and raining meteors from the sky. Makes it more challenging.
Can they just stand there and do nothing?
They can. Then the boss is regular.
Oh,
this
so
is
it
just
does. Okay,
bonus.
there's
All of its
okay.
normal moves plus whatever
You
this
can't
guy.
like cheat in quotes by having someone take over
Correct.
the boss and just stand there.
The boss
while
will
you
do
lay
its
along
complete
the-
normal
Okay.
moveset in addition to these abilities.
Very
Gotcha.
dumb question here again, Dan.
Yes.
if you're streaming this on consoles, would that work? This is just PC thing?
This, as far as I know, it's just PC
Okay.
talking to people, but I have not confirmed it.
Sure.
So
Relax, Dan.
I know. I want to make that
Jesus
clear.
Christ.
If you're getting on your console and you want to do this, because there's all kinds of fun stuff. Not only that, level modifiers. The chat gets to vote on what the level mods are for the next level, and 90% of them are bad. One of them's like Bloodlust, where you have to keep killing, or else you'll take serious damage. One of them turns the level into the equivalent of the Dark Sepulchre level, which is like a dark level. You need to stay near the light. It's a really bad level, really annoying.
Yeah.
And this makes whatever level you're going to that. You can get the fog. You can get the level packed with Inquisitors, these guys that can shoot through walls. Super annoying in general, but this like literally puts like 500 of them in it.
So you can make the whole game Blight Town.
Yeah,
basically.
it makes the game more challenging, but there are a few good ones too. If you've got a benevolent chat, which of course you never do, they can give you an extra jump, or they can make it so the little chicken following you around, the healing chicken, they'll actually shoot thunderbolts out at opposing enemies.
That's fun. That's super exciting.
It's a lot of really cool stuff that really gets the audience participation going.
The developer, Motion Twin, is out there?
Motion Twin.
Motion Twin. Have they done anything before?
I think they did mobile games. I'm not certain.
Good God. Congratulations to them.
No
Crazy
kidding.
effort, man.
No kidding.
Also, Rockstar Games. You guys
who are they?
Red Dead Redemption 2, a new
They
trailer.
did some mobile games too, I think. Actually.
Yeah.
Chinatown Wars.
Didn't they do a ping pong or tennis game or something once?
That's
There's
right.
no way to know.
further table tennis. But Red Dead Redemption 2, they released a new gameplay trailer. Finally, gameplay. Instead of these...
There was UI on those screens.
And that is honestly the most exciting thing. Is like, we've talked before in the podcast, was like the story trailers, I'm into them, but it feels a little abstract still. This trailer actually got me excited. It was seeing like the Deadeye, seeing the UI, and being like, that's right. I'm going to be excited
that
for
is
this
a
game.
miniature map on the corner.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited for like the idea of what they really focused on, this idea of like you can interact with this world in a way that doesn't involve shooting or beating the crap out of things. Like just like, you come across certain scenarios and you can like help out or interfere or like...
Or kill people.
Or I really like the idea that you can threaten witnesses instead of shooting them. Like, just be like, I'll find you, if you
Right.
talk. And just there being that many more options for interacting with NPCs that you run into. That makes, to me, like when you talk about open world games, like to me that's like a defining feature of a really good open world game is I can interact with the people who populate this world or the things that populate this world in a way that exists beyond like beat them to death.
Totally. And even beyond NPCs. I love that they had a whole section of the trailer just about maintaining your horse, upgrading your horse, the different moods of the horse. Like, they know that gaming audience in 2018, they're going to eat those horses up, not literally. And just to, like,
maybe literally hunting's a part of it.
I mean,
That's true.
What happens if your horse dies and it's just there and you're like, well, I got to eat.
You got a revenant inside of it. I think there's no way around it. But I was really excited from the trailer, just the idea of having this camp that I don't know how it works, if it's like a State of Decay 2 thing or just throughout the course of the game, it's going to be moving from one location to the other.
They definitely hinted at that, and it feels like it is going to be sort of like the mobile... your base of operations where you're going to upgrade things and talk to people.
Where it's like, hey, you're in the Mexico area now. You're in this area now, so the base is going to be out of that location.
The thing that I immediately thought of was Final Fantasy 15, actually. Of like where like when you save at night, you get that chance to interact with everybody and kind of see what your day was like. And
this seemed like a lot larger scale than that in terms of what. Yeah.
But as far as like wrapping up the day, and interacting with people and like hearing stories, like
that sounds so
that's
cool.
And that sounds particularly cool to me too, because like the majority of those people are not going to make it out of this game alive, considering like Red Dead. Like
it is in the name.
I think it's
but also it's a
interesting.
prequel, and we know that a lot of those people are going to die.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
So to me, like I hope that they really use that time to make like losing characters and like bonding with characters an interesting experience. Because I feel like that was Grand Theft Auto 5's like greatest misstep for me. Like Grand Theft Auto 5's great and it's a technical masterpiece and blah blah blah, but that storytelling was rough. I didn't care about any of those characters in the same way that I cared for characters in like Grand Theft Auto 4 and Red Dead.
Yeah.
So that's what I want here.
Absolutely.
I saw that we'd be able to play poker and fish. So I was really
you were sold.
That does seem very
Real
fun.
quick, I mean, this is a confirmation now that it's a singular protagonist, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that was confirmed with like when IGN
Was
did
it?
that story, something like that.
Okay, I wasn't
like the
sure
last
if, like,
round.
because it always seemed like a little vague. There was always multiple characters in the silhouettes on the cover and stuff, but like you're playing as Morgan.
Yeah, Rockstar says you're playing as Morgan.
That's good. I'm happy about that.
Do you guys think we're going to see Marston in any trailers before release, or
Yes.
was that like last trailer the biggest tease we're going to get, and then we'll be surprised?
I think we
we
saw
will
him in
see.
this one.
Oh, really?
I think that was him on the train.
Oh, okay.
When he's walking towards you, like he's wearing a mask, but he's got the same hairstyle, and there's like, I think that's Marston.
Oh,
yeah.
Marston. Okay, interesting. Okay. Also, just I thought the lighting looked a lot better than I was expecting. It's such a little detail, but it's like seeing the God rays come through the clouds and stuff.
All
and
those vistas.
Yeah.
Holy
yeah, it looks incredible. Just wandering around that environment, I am 1,000 times
Well,
more
even like
excited
the
for now.
musculature on the animals and stuff was like really stood
when
out
he's
to me.
carrying the
Animal
deer back.
musculature?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
that really stood out to me.
It was really. It was like a
That
different
looks like a
version
dead
of the
deer.
like another version of the Uncanny Valley, almost.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, oh, why is it moving like that?
Who designed these things?
Dan, are you surprised that Kyle's super into animal muscles? Look at his arms.
it's
It's
a
like a
little
bear
animal
over there.
It's
Good God.
it's a little weird, but I agree. The game looks amazing after today's gameplay stuff. Like, I think a lot of that stuff was already known, but seeing it is different.
And now I think I speak for everybody when I say, bring it to PC.
Now that would be amazing. Please.
You want to start that chant, Dan? Is that how we make things happen? in the
I don't
video
think
industry?
I don't think we can make that happen in any way. But yes, that would be great.
Good God, please.
Can you imagine how awesome that would be? Oh my
Yes,
God.
I
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
That's why I want to see
I
it
can
on
too.
there.
God.
No, I bet they'll just do it a year from now.
They didn't
Because
even
I
bring
feel
the
like they're going to
they
make
didn't
more
even bring
money
the
that
first
way.
one over
The first
PC.
one's not even on PC, right?
You think they'd have a bundle a year from now with 1 and 2? Like,
I think they're done with the
We'd
one.
still be happy with that. The PC
Yeah.
community would still enjoy that.
How?
Yeah, we'll
I mean,
take
they
anything.
put a lot of they'll port stuff to mobile years later, but when it comes, I mean, how?
They've ported enough to PC, just not Red Dead.
but like, I'm talking about like distance of time. Like, are they done with Red Dead 1 at this point? Like, are they?
I think so.
Yeah,
No, well, I mean,
they did the backwards compatibility.
yeah.
update,
Not only did they
Right.
do the backwards compatibility,
which might have been
update,
Microsoft more than Rockstar. Sorry, I keep
but like they upgraded it too later on. So
Okay.
like, I
Yeah.
don't know. I feel like we could still see Red Dead on PC one day. Red Dead 1.
God, good old games. Exclusive.
I'll light a candle every evening until it happens.
Yeah. Come home.
Who do we have to sacrifice?
I'll find them.
Call of Duty.
Leo? Let's sacrifice
Leo in the booth. You cool for that, man?
Yeah, great.
Call of Duty Black Ops 4. The
All right.
beta. I was running
Yo,
this weekend. Oh,
yo,
hey, drop a rhyme.
I'm
Daddy.
excited to play it on PC this weekend. Like, screw last weekend.
Oh.
It's on PC this
So it was on
weekend for
PS4
everybody.
last weekend.
Yeah.
PS4 last weekend, Xbox and PC this weekend for everybody.
Yeah. Okay, why are you so excited, Dan?
Dedicated servers, uncapped frame rate. I can't wait.
Okay.
Give me those. I want to see how they. You know, again, Call of Duty is always on PC, but I feel like it's not the primary platform, and we don't always get perfect ports. This one,
It's been okay though.
it's always been okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Didn't
I'll
World
give it
War
that.
II have a lot of problems, the PC one? Or was that... I feel like there was one recent...
There's not one singular one that has just
Okay.
It's an ongoing thing. A lot of them are good, but none of them are really like the PC. What we want,
Yeah.
and this one has made those promises.
It was weird that in the reveal video they had that whole section where like, hey, Beanox is really doubling down.
Yeah.
We're focusing on PC, everybody. And it's like, well, I mean, the ports were always okay before.
They were
It's
always
just-
okay.
Yeah.
But
I feel like that community dies pretty quick, though, for PC.
Oh, it's wild. Black Ops 3. I was trying to get into a game before 4's beta started. I could not get into a single game. It was unbelievable.
well, BattleNet's gonna help. The whole BattleNet ecosystem should be interesting with this game. I can't wait.
Most intriguing.
Indeed,
Dan.
you got your friends on Warcraft, doing a raid. It's like, hey, let's go kill some people.
Yeah, forget Azeroth. Okay, but it seemed like you were surprisingly hot on the beta overall. We did a new gameplay today. If you want to watch Dan die a million times.
Yeah, I died a few times.
It's all right. It's all right. It happens to everybody.
That's why I'm excited to play on PC.
I
My control
understand.
scheme.
Yeah. Okay, what were you skeptical about going in, and then what were you most
I was certainly
surprised by?
skeptical that it was just going to be, which is fine, by the way. Call of Duty has good multiplayer. I consistently enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I was just afraid it wouldn't change things up in any significant fashion. So I think they've leaned a little in. This is probably the most team-oriented Call of Duty, but they do a great job with the nuance of that. You can still play it like a Call of Duty guy who doesn't care about anything but getting kills, but they've sort of got these subtle abilities that are, now you're helping your team whether you want to or not. And if you choose to play with them as more of a unit, it benefits everybody. And you're going to win. You're going to get more points. You're going to get your score streak off. So a small, very gentle push in more team-oriented play rather than just flank and shoot in the back and then get
Right.
shot in the back.
Right.
And I also the 50 health. I didn't know how relevant that was in my previous play because I only got to play a few rounds. After playing it more, it's like it is relevant and it is interesting.
So all characters have more health this time.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's the time to kill is very slightly
Man.
longer, but it make that that 0.5 seconds or whatever is a long time in Call of Duty. So
We are really talking like 0.5 seconds.
Yes.
Like I don't know if the average player who pops into Call of Duty every once in a while would really even notice it.
you wouldn't until you start playing it more and comparing it to other Call of Duties and combining that with the active heal is great. Like,
Yeah.
you take a few shots, hop behind some cover, instantly heal. It takes like 3 seconds, very, very fast.
Yeah.
It's not like you have to sit there and tie wounds or anything like PUBG. You're healed. And it is great. And it feels good. It feels really good.
JV, any thoughts on this thing?
I mean, I agree pretty much with everything Dan says. I wouldn't call it like that it's turning into Overwatch, but it feels like there is some sort of elements taking from there.
Just
like
more of the hero focus.
I think gentle push, like the way Dan has put it, is apt. I really like that. I really like sort of the emphasis on team building elements and sort of the more generosity when it comes to, to health. Like I feel like I've been doing better than I've done in previous Call of Duties because I have the ability to self-heal, take cover and stuff. So yeah, I'm curious to see how that plays out, after release. I'm still mostly curious, I think, about Blackout more than anything else.
I think
100%.
Blackout is clearly the giant elephant trouncing over the little
And
babies
on the
multiplayer.
splash screen, they say like, "Hey, Blackout beta coming soon."
It is September, I believe,
think that's
right?
what they said. Yeah, that's super exciting. And there's like a tease in the multiplayer trailer, which is
tease-
like all of them on 4-wheelers.
The
and
tease
all
is
this crap.
insane. There's
Yeah.
like 5 different vehicles in the same screen. There's a sniper blowing away the guy in the chopper.
Yeah.
There's missiles. There's an RPG. There's right? Like
it's very, very exciting. I'm so curious.
As somebody who
about that
plays
thing.
every battle royale, under the sun,
Right.
super interested in player count and how that's going to work. Having all those vehicles on the screen doing all that insane stuff, let's see it.
And
Let's
just
see
the
it.
idea of Call of Duty doing vehicles such a big way in multiplayer is shocking, but I had no idea. I went back because I couldn't get a game going in Black Ops 3 on Steam, so I went back and checked out Call of Duty World War II, and the updates they've done to that game with just the different modes. Now they had like Days of Summer was their big event, which was going on the same time as Black Ops 4's beta, which is just crazy. But in that, they actually added dogfighting in World War II, so you're just flying planes around. It's like, wow, I wonder if it's testing some sort of tech for Blackout in general, or maybe, in theory, when they do the next World War II game from Sledgehammer and probably go to the Pacific, like they're going to want dogfighting in there, I'd imagine. So subtle tests out there. But also they have a crazy map, just to get it off my chest real quick, in Call of Duty World War II, where you're playing in a sandbox and you're green army men. And you're like tiny, and there's like huge soldiers above you playing baseball, like playing catch. But it's just like a weird Toy Story Call of
Did
Duty
I play that
fusion.
game on the PlayStation?
I think it was also that tech demo for Final Fantasy 15. I don't know. It's a whole mess. But good times for Call of Duty, huh?
Yeah. I'm like just to like I said, it's all really subtle influences that like you get more team oriented abilities. But if you want to build yourself out, to say forget about that. I just want the one hit hatchet. I want to throw that and just be an assassin, be a killer, be the COD guy with all the weapons. You can do that, but the barbed wire and laser mines and all that other cool stuff is really cool for area control and stuff like that. Anyway, it's interesting. But again, the real thing is Blackout, right? Like,
Blackout,
that's
baby.
going to be the one.
Coming soon.
Yeah, I feel like it's the first Call of Duty multiplayer. Like, just talking about standard multiplayer mode, I've actually enjoyed for like years and years and years.
Okay.
Was this beta test where it was like, yeah, I feel like the gentle pushes they've done have really like made this better.
Really into this gentle push thing.
Yeah, it's very sexy.
I understand. Nothing sexier than a gentle
It's a
push.
very gentle push.
Kyle, anything to say?
I will try Blackout.
Cool, great. Love you, Kyle. Dauntless. Dan Tacky reviewed it finally. You
there
put a
it is.
score on it.
I mean, we reviewed it a while ago, but we didn't put it up on the site because we were waiting for that cool new review policy we have for early access stuff to go live.
From the man on the mountain, Andy McNamara
that's
came down
right.
with his tablet and said, "Hear ye, hear ye, we're reviewing early access
did.
games, F you."
Could
Yes.
someone give this a read before we post it online?
So when I went back to it,
Sorry to interject a joke, Dan. I
it
didn't
was
mean to
funny.
ruin your trip.
I enjoyed it.
It was a laugh out loud riot.
That's my favorite Dan
5 stars.
confirmation. That was funny.
Humor
Congratulations.
received. Moving on. Point 2B.
Sorry, Dan. Dauntless.
Dauntless, you give an 8.
I did. I sure did. It has an end game in serious need of help, but a lot of the systems in place facilitate that end game, and that's one of the reasons I thought the game has tons of potential. It's the sort of Monster Hunter, very inspired by Monster Hunter framework that has the potential to evolve more like an MMORPG than a box product.
And free to play on PC.
Free to play on PC.
Any word of it coming to consoles?
No word of it coming to console.
Okay.
I think it
interesting.
could.
Yeah.
I think it easily could, but I think they, I don't know what has to happen for that to go. Mm-hmm. And they just had an expansion drop yesterday, probably to try to get ahead of the
Really?
Monster Hunter PC release today.
Oh,
Yes.
God.
And they're introducing this expansion in pieces, so I think they really, really wanted to get a jump. That seems to be the motivation for me.
Okay.
A day early.
Have you checked it out at all?
I have. I played it last night. So it's only a piece of the expansion. So I couldn't find the guns. That's the new thing. There's like a new purely ranged weapon added to the game. Repeating pistols, I believe, something like that.
Okay.
But they're not in yet. But they did add grenades and a bunch of new encounters.
Okay. So you still like the game overall?
I still like the game overall, but it's still, as far as I'm concerned, needs that compelling end game content, which is why I got an 8 instead of a higher score.
Well, there we go. Well, what about Monster Hunter on PC?
What about
you
it?
and Serial have been playing a lot of it.
I actually, during the review process, I played very little of it. Serial did almost all of it because during that phase, we did have a lot of problems of crashing. And I just said, screw it. But they have made a patch during the course of that time frame that apparently alleviated all those issues.
Okay, so crashing, the hard crashes is not happening.
That is the sentiment that I've received.
Because
yes.
you were very stressed out about that. Because there's nothing is worse than being like 3/4 of the way through a hunt.
No, it's
and
terrible.
then
It happened to me
crashes.
3 times in the same mission. I was just like, all right, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore.
Woof. Overall, though, how does it feel? How does
Yeah,
it play?
feels
How's
great.
it look?
You can the frame rate difference is palpable.
Okay.
All right, it's great.
60?
60.
Okay.
Depending on your rig. I don't want to give it the pure 60.
Sure.
Somewhere between 40 and 60, depending on what you're fighting and your computer.
Yeah.
It does seem to have very high requirements for what you get. But yes, if you've got the rig to play it, this is the way to play it.
Really?
I'll say that. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. The frame rate is very noticeable. None of those stupid annoying slowdowns you had on PS4.
Right.
Standard. I don't know about the Pro or...
That's cool. Serial's reviews on the site, Monster Hunter PC. Exciting. Okay, let's see. According to this math, Dan Tack, do you want to clap out right now?
Sure.
Okay, come back later. Brian Shea, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks.
I think we're going through the entire office on this episode. Let's just keep this rolling, man.
All right, you want me to clap out now?
It'd be nice, but first we have to talk
We
about...
Happy Few score and then just clap.
We Happy Few, you reviewed this thing.
Yeah.
Also, out of early access, finally.
Finally.
Okay, how is it? What is your score?
I give it a 7.75.
Okay.
I think it is a very fun game. It has a good narrative. It has some cool ideas in there, but there are a lot of technical problems that I ran into, like enemies would fall through the floor. On multiple occasions, I would fight guys who they would be like in the floor up to their torso, and they'd just be swinging stuck in the floor.
Well,
It's the drugs, dude.
Yeah, that would be funny if that was one of the mechanics. But yeah, basically you're in a dystopian world where everybody is mandated by the government that you're going to be hopped up on these literal happy pills, and anybody who's not on the drug is completely shunned and chased and exiled outside of the town. And as it turns out, in a strange twist, the drugs are bad. So the story, there's 3 separate campaigns that you control 3 characters, or different character for each campaign, and each one has a different reason for wanting to escape this archipelago that is kind of cut off from the rest of the world.
Is it on Earth? It's just a freaky little place like BioShock?
Yeah, so it's a British series of islands that were kind of cut off after what I'm assuming is World War II, because it's 1964.
Okay.
And they keep referencing the Germans taking the children away.
I mean, it's alternate history.
Yeah.
So it is Earth, and
Okay.
yeah, it is like
it's Great Britain.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think
Or not so great
I feel
Britain.
like we've given the roller coaster ride of this game's development for a long time, but as far as I remember it, it was initial trailer. People said, "Ooh, this looks like a BioShocky type thing. I'm into this." And then they released the early access version, or whatever you want to call it, the preview program, and it's like, "Oh, this is a survival game, and the story isn't emphasized much. I don't really want this anymore." And now the curve is them ramping up again and saying, "No, we emphasize story again, and we're out." And so, where is it on that spectrum now?
It is very story driven. I mean,
Really?
Yes, there's still the survival mechanics. You can still go around and scrounge all you want in the abandoned houses and sneak into people's lived-in houses and like burgle them to your heart's content.
Burgle and blind.
Burgle and blind. And there's like hunger mechanics. There's thirst. You need to go to sleep, or else like your stamina is affected. Your fighting gets worse if you're tired.
JV, you like thirsty games, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But it doesn't kill you. So if like you just never eat, you just have like lower stamina. But you won't like die from that.
Okay.
But it makes you worse at the game, that's for sure.
And the story's interesting?
Yeah, I like all 3 of the stories actually. The third story in particular I really enjoyed.
Do they weave at all? Do they interact?
There are some, you run into the other characters a couple times as each other.
So it's Trio Path Traveler, I guess.
Yes.
Everyone's talking about it. How much did
characters
you
are
play,
we
Jim? What
happy
did you
and
play
few?
this thing?
We Happy Few?
Yeah.
Oh God, I played the early access version, like not this new version, but a long time ago, like 2 years ago, and I hated it.
Oh, okay.
It reminded me of you remember that game that the rock paper shotgun guy did? Sir, You Were Being Hunted.
I like that game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that too. This felt like a shitty version of that.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Are you gonna go back to it now?
Yeah, I want to see. I'm mostly because I'm curious about its transformation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is very story driven now. Like there's missions like Fallout style missions where you're just like, go to this point, talk to this NPC, and they'll give you a mission, like a fetch quest, like, hey, I need this, 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 and this, and you have to go get it for them. And my biggest criticism, I think, is that there are so you're playing those three characters. The first character is kind of like a well-rounded guy. The second character is a brilliant chemist who can craft like all these different concoctions, and like you can make chemicals that other people can't. And then the third guy is a former soldier who's like a great fighter, and he can carry more inventory. But the chemist, she has something that I don't want to spoil, but a mechanic where she has to keep going back home to take care of something, and if you don't, your inventory space, like if you neglect that responsibility, your inventory space slowly degrades until you take care of it.
Is that just like an arbitrary, we'll punish you with your inventory space?
Yeah, well, it says that like it is a burden that is getting heavier. I really don't like it. And then the third one, the third campaign, the former soldier guy, he has low blood sugar. So you have to keep making glucose injections or eating high sugar foods. And if you don't, his stamina depletes, or his stamina degrades over the course of like as his sugar gets lower. And he also, if he gets low enough, he'll get really irritable, and he'll hurl insults at random passersby.
And then they fight him?
And then they'll get in like a fight with you. So like,
That's interesting. Maybe a gaming first.
I love this.
I like that idea a lot, but it's kind of annoying when you can't find like the syringes to craft the glucose injections.
Right.
So that was something I didn't like. Like,
So that was a
it's
problem.
fun ideas, but it sets up a lot of unfun situations.
Yeah.
So that was a problem that I had with the playing like the version that JV played. I think the very early access version. It's like I would need specific things, and I was just like, oh, I hope it's in this house.
I had a lot of that where I would be like just looking for an hour. It's like, all right, I need these syringes. I'm going to just go look at every abandoned house in this area, in this
So
district.
that hasn't been balanced.
Yeah.
A whole lot.
I think it could be balanced a little better.
Okay.
I didn't play the early access version that much. Like I looked into it a little bit, but not enough to.
I'm still excited about the emphasis on story. Like I played the first hour at E3, and I was engaged.
Yeah,
like, I want to see where
there's
it
not a
goes,
huge drop off or anything. Like there are some annoying missions where it's like, all right, I need this one thing, so I'm going to talk to this person. They say this, they need something, so I need to go talk to another person. And it's just like a spider web of fetch quests that develop at times. But
Right.
So
it's released on everything, even though Microsoft now owns Compulsion Games.
Yes, so it's PS4, Xbox One, PC, Mac, and Linux.
There we go. Thank God.
Yeah, those Linux players were really clamoring.
Passionate
The
fans.
two guys out there.
We love them. They're like the Zune listeners on this podcast. Gotta love them. Cool.
Can't wait for that angry email we're gonna get.
I would love to.
I
talk
still
to more
love my
Linux players.
Zune.
I'm sure it's great. 775.
Yeah.
There we go. Do you think? How quickly would you crush me in an arm wrestling match, Brian J?
I don't think quickly at all.
Really?
Yeah, I think.
Have you looked at your arms? You work out like 14 times
God,
a day.
you look like a dead deer in Red Dead Redemption 2.
Easy, Kyle. No, put your tongue away from Jay's arms. Do you want to have a quick arm wrestling match?
No.
We're too late. We're doing it.
I'm really tired.
We're gonna do it. Okay, JV, narrate this. All right, you and me. You gotta call it. Ready?
JV, welcome to today's match between
Handsome Hansen is sitting down.
Brian Hansen.
Are we allowed to do this thing?
It's Handsome
No.
Hansen and more Handsome Shay,
doesn't
as I
help
think
that
the
I-
names
All
are
right,
going
here we
by.
go.
This morning.
All right, they're both
All right.
right-handed.
I don't have a
Two
table. You
right-handers.
gotta go more over there. I don't have a table to slam.
Two
What am I
right-handers
gonna
going
do?
here.
Put you on nothing?
Which
Okay.
edition of
a really
rugged facial
long
hair will
range.
win?
Who are you putting your money behind, JV? I'm going to go with Shay.
Shay.
Here we go.
All right.
On your mark, get set, go.
Go.
Oh my God. That was immediate.
And I won like that. All right,
Please watch the video version to see.
Yeah.
You should have had me
Handsome
clap
win.
out as
slow-mo,
your
Leo.
That's true. Okay, let's move on to emails, everybody. And everyone. Welcome back to the Game Informer Show. We have some great emails that people sent in to podcast@GameInformer.com, and we're going to read these off and then choose our absolute favorite. And to help me do that, we have Kyle Hilliard still here.
I want mediocre emails.
All
1 week,
right.
please.
Well, we'll see what we can do. Reigning champion Dan Tack.
We've got a real big show.
I'm losing it. Imran Khan also here.
Like, comment, subscribe.
There we go. Perfect. Thank you for reciting that. We'll let you go now, Imran, but we appreciate that contribution. Imran, what's going on? I knew you had mentioned this thing a while ago, and then in like my New York Times daily briefing that I get in my emails, I noticed the name Imran Khan kept popping up more and more. And I'm sure you're sick of talking with this, but what is happening to your name right now?
So there's a cricket player named Imran Khan, and my parents are big fans of cricket. So they named me Imran because, like, oh, we have the last name Khan. It's like, if your name is Jordan and you're a huge fan of basketball, right. Michael's a very obvious choice.
Right.
The problem is he went on from cricket to become the Prime Minister of Pakistan.
Is he now the Prime Minister?
I don't know, something. I've not kept up that much because when I see it, it's confusing to me.
Right.
So it's basically my name is ungoogleable, which is both good and bad.
That's true. Your parents should have named you Jiminy.
Jiminy Khan, yeah.
Anyways, Nicholas Brewer wrote in from Searcy, Arkansas.
Friend of the show.
And first of all, it's not Searcy, it's Searcy, Arkansas. Friend of the show saying, thank you for picking my email for this week's podcast. I know it was a bit of a sad story, but I did enjoy the discussion that spun off from it. However, AR is Arkansas, not Arizona, which is actually AZ. Yep. Yeah, we really blew it there. I blew it.
Can confirm.
I hope you haven't given too many Arkansas wins to Arizona so far. Yeah, wait a minute. I have to rethink all of those Arizona wins because they all could be Arkansas. But he said, I'll consider that spot on the map in commemoration of Nima Mixon, my best friend, whom the email concerned. Very sweet. We even put it in the right spot for you in Arkansas. So thank you, Arkansas. Welcome to the big board. What's your favorite thing about Arkansas, Dan?
I've never been there.
Does anybody have anything nice to say about Arkansas?
All the famous people from there.
I mean, I'm sure it's cool. I've just never been there.
Yeah, it's kind of like another state, but they put 2 letters on the front, and think of like a boar. It's one of their mascots, like a boar.
Boars are cool.
Right in, let us know.
Boar's cool. All right, here we go. Patrick from Fairbanks, Alaska here. Time to get big AK on the map. I think that's Arizona. I'm not sure. You only get to. He says you only get to play one of the following online games for the next year. Okay. Online games: Red Dead Redemption 2. Anthem, or Fallout 76.
Do you want to go down the line?
We haven't played any of these games.
Yeah, wait a minute, Patrick. We haven't played these games.
So we just have to pick blind based on what we know?
No, based on what
we know lots
excited
about these
for.
games.
What are you talking about? Yeah.
Based on what we're excited? No, we only get to play that one.
Right.
Yeah, which of those would you choose? If
What's
they were
the
put in
best
front of you?
bet? Only play one of those following online games.
So the Red Dead thing, that's the online mode only? Or
Yeah.
I mean, both Anthem and Fallout are going to have mostly authored content, so you'll run out of stuff to do eventually.
Right. Yeah, and I guess there's no PvP, right, in either of those. Maybe like
This is
a weird friendly
pseudo
fire
PvP.
version in Fallout 76. Yeah. I've read it like 2.
Mine's
Is
Red
the
Dead.
clear
Like, I
answer
want to play
here,
Red
right,
Dead.
everybody?
I'm not
For
really.
a year on the online. What is the online mode in that game?
It's mysterious and enticing.
Yeah, run around the hub world. If it's just a recreation of everything in Red Dead 1, that's still enough for me.
Yeah. I'm not just personal taste. I'm just not particularly interested in playing those other 2 games online.
Yeah. All right.
So I'm more hyped for the other 2 games.
Oh, really?
But I'm going to pick Anthem.
You're more hyped for Fallout 76 than Red Dead 2?
No, for the other 2 games than Anthem.
Oh.
But I'm picking Anthem
I
anyway
see.
because
Okay.
I believe that will have the most event content over the course of that year.
There'll
for
be the
me to
most
enjoy.
to do during that year.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
And you
that's a good
need
bet.
something to take your mind off your real life.
Well, no, but if I'm playing, it's the only game I get to play for a year.
Right.
I better have stuff coming out.
All right. Imran, you got a big thought on this?
I'm probably going with Red Dead just because it seems like you'll get less bored by people versus content.
Okay, that sounds fair. Seth Joplin from Big Missouri says, "Hey guys, has anyone read the Star Wars comics that have come out since the new trilogy started? Anyone have any recommendations about which to read?" I wanted to make fun of those comics because I saw a couple panels where there's like a calamari with a lightsaber, and I was like, "These look stupid."
That's awesome. That's the best thing to come out of Star Wars in the last year.
Yeah, and then a wonderful friend of the show gifted me the Darth Vader comics because I was making fun of him too much on Twitter, and I read them, and they were very good. It was surprisingly fun. Yeah, it's just like Darth Vader just getting kind of like bogged down in the bureaucracy of the Empire, and like they really rope him in, from what I can remember, with like Tarkin's mistakes. And so everyone's like, well, don't trust Vader. You know what happened with that Death Star in Tarkin? He's like, no, I wasn't fully on board with him. It was a fun idea just to watch him just constantly argue with his bosses within the empire.
It's like an
bizarre.
artist getting a promotion to manager and not being able to do the
Right, it was the
work
Peter
anymore.
effect, the Paul effect,
Is that
something
what
like that. Yeah.
Reiner gives us nice recaps periodically, but
That's all you need.
His usually focus on the insane, weird stuff.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yes, so I would recommend Darth Vader. Anyway, James from Dublin, Ireland. Beautiful Ireland, right, Dan?
Hey, big Blarney.
Nailed it!
Leo, will you stop piping in pure Irish impersonations from the computer in there?
Blarney.
Here we go. What's your favorite recommendation that you've ever given someone in terms of how much the other person clicked with it and how much that meant to you? It could be lending your non-gamer parents a game and finding out they're really enjoying it, or showing your girlfriend, boyfriend a film that you think might not be their style of humor, only to find out they love it. I can't think of any standouts personally, but I do always like the feeling of finally roping my friends into watching shows like The Wire or The Leftovers and seeing them really get into it.
And to rope his friends into watching The Wire, one of the most critically acclaimed shows of all time.
Prove it, James from Ireland. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I'm going to go with gaming on this one. And I'm going to go with Dark Souls Super Replay that me and Tim did. Seems to rope in all kinds of people who never would have touched that game, and I'm constantly getting feedback about how it got them into the series and how they love it now. And
Every
they're
day.
always intimidated. Not every day. Okay. For this particular thing, I'd say it's like every 3 days I get a really cool, nice email.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
I made Leo watch New Girl, and now we have Kyle and Leo mess arounds all the time.
That's correct.
What is a mess around?
You gotta watch the show.
I've seen a couple episodes. It was funny.
Yeah.
It was fun. I had a weird one where, every once in a while, probably like every 6 months for me, I'll just really, really get into one full listen for Civilization 4's Baba Yetu, where it's just like
good tune.
head banging,
It's a
tears
good tune.
streaming, like seeing the face of God through your ear holes type of thing. And I was like, God, we have this family friend who's, basically pseudo aunt. Everybody has like a pseudo aunt, right? And I was like, she like sings in a church, and that's like the Lord's Prayer in Swahili,
Yeah.
And so I was like, I should send this to her just on a whim. And I did it. And she lost her mind. Like, she hates video games, just has no interest in them.
Sure.
And responded. She's like, what is this? She's like, this is the greatest song I've ever heard. Like, I've
It's really good.
devoured all of Christopher Tin's music. We are, like, I'm singing in a church choir, and I'm pushing for us to sing Baba Yetu in the church choir now. It's going to be amazing.
Wow.
Speaking of which, did you watch that? Was it like America's Got Talent? Or
Yeah.
The Butthole Voice, whatever that show was? And they did a version of Baba Yetu, and everyone was like, oh, it's beautiful. Olivia Munn was like, tears in her eyes and all this stuff. But like the version, I thought sucked. Am I nuts? Did you guys watch that? It was like this
I've seen
weird,
it.
abridged, crappy version where they're all just like too busy moving around to make it even sound good. It's like, I think they butchered that beautiful song in that show, but still it got like a standing ovation.
Maybe they edited it for TV.
Could be. Yeah, I think they probably did.
All the bad parts.
It's just weird record scratches in the middle of it.
It's not that long of a song.
Imran, what do you got, man? Anything stand out?
I remember when I was a kid, I traded Yo Noid. Like, a friend traded me Yo Noid, and I traded them, I think, Castlevania.
Oh, no.
And, like, I never got Castlevania back, but they ended up loving it. So I talk to them occasionally still these days because they're also in the games industry. And they refer to that original thing of, like, that started their love affair with, like, action platformers and actually quality games. So I even though I never got Castlevania back, I still bug them about that. It's still probably one of the prouder trades I've did. Yo Noid sucks, by the way.
But it has gotten into a lifelong career where you just love dominoes. Is that what Noid is from?
Noid?
Yeah.
I think it's okay.
It is.
Dan, you seem very confident on your Noid.
I was there.
Your Noid knowledge.
All right.
I had a Frisbee with Noid on it. I think I know him. Anyways, Ian Levesque from Charlottesville, Virginia.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show! It says, not a question, but a point. Last week, someone wrote in saying they were confused about how kids could be so into Fortnite when there are no characters. And Hanson said that they would still be role-playing it, just not saying, I'm Bob from Fortnite. That is what I said. But I'm here to say that there are characters in Fortnite, just not narratively. I've been teaching 9 to 11-year-olds all summer. When they talk about the game, they talk about themselves and how they play, but more importantly, they talk about their favorite influencers. They talk about Ninja or Laserbeam or whoever, and they, I assume, lie about how they were in a game with them and they met them and they died to them or something. They talk about how they watched this morning a clip where that guy shot someone from across the map or how they ran someone over with a golf cart. Characters in Fortnite are the Twitch streamers, YouTubers, and internet celebrities, not the characters in the game. Yes.
That's fascinating.
That is a very
That's a
correct
good point.
read, and I regret not
Good
mentioning
job.
that.
I mean, that's true, but I'm sure at some point there's going to be like a Fortnite story mode or a Telltale Presents Fortnite thing.
I think there already kind of is. It's just no one cares. Like, there are those Fortnite characters in Save the World.
I mean, my favorite
There
Fortnite
are.
character is Thanos.
yeah, absolutely.
I can't remember any of their names. Like, hey, fix my van.
Right.
Here's this guy.
Fix
Yeah.
my van
Yeah.
guy.
Hey, please don't be annoyed by the systems and menus in this game.
Yeah.
Please don't be Yonoid.
I'm really looking forward to that relaunch. Do you think they can pull it off when they relaunch
Supposedly,
Save the World?
supposedly the relaunch is going to be completely.
Kyle was looking for appreciation on a joke that no one else
Leo
heard.
giggled. I got to giggle.
It's great
for
stuff,
him.
dude.
Yes. Supposedly, Save the World when it actually launches is going to be very different than.
Dan, it's
What?
like,
I try to keep the show together.
what are you doing? You're just looking around confused. I'm hearing along the grapevine that Save the World mode is going to be spectacular.
Yeah, come on. Some of us try to take this seriously.
I know. All right.
It's the questions section.
Do you think, what's it going to be like? How could they relaunch it? How big of a splash will they make when they relaunch it?
I'm sure they've been working on it for like some time, right? Probably since launch, where they're like, "Whoa,
It's probably since 2011, I'd argue.
this thing's all menus and systems, and
Uh-huh.
it's cool. It's cool horde mode, and it's really fun for like a little bit, and then you're like, this is really repetitive.
Yeah.
And I'm still just killing zombies and trying to open packs in a very mobile-y game system, right? Like,
Yeah.
it really feels that way. I have no idea, but certainly they've got the resources and the talent to do something fun with it. So
Yeah, if they just streamline it, I mean, it could be huge. I just don't know, other than offering just clear incentives. I was thinking about this too recently, of like, if they relaunched Paragon, do you think with that fan base and like put it front and center in the launcher, could they force Paragon to be a success now because of Fortnite's success? Could they bleed enough of a user base from Fortnite to make Paragon sustainable?
yeah, maybe, because there's plenty of people, like me included, that don't like the building in Fortnite, but still
Right.
play Fortnite because it's so freaking fun.
Right.
But I might not like that aspect of it.
Yeah,
So
I
maybe
don't
I'd
know.
try something different.
I don't think so. I don't think there's any saving Paragon. I mean, the reason that Paragon
Yeah.
disappeared was because of Fortnite. I mean, putting it back in front of people isn't going to make them suddenly be interested in
I
it.
bet somewhere though, in the cafeteria at least at Epic, right by the rock wall where they'll climb all day, I bet there is like a table where they're like, what if we still revamped Paragon,
Oh, yeah.
relaunched it? Like, there's still something we could do because you have all the cachet in the world right now. You have people going to your launcher on PC so much. Like, they could shove a lot of things down people's throats if they wanted to.
The Epic launcher is, it's there's going to be stuff on there, right? Like,
Hang on, let me write this down.
I know,
I think
Do you think
you're-
like other companies' games?
but it's great. No, other companies get at least not
Maybe.
not yet.
Okay.
But like, it's certainly a huge opportunity to leverage that, like other giant companies have done. I mean, Riot's only got one game on theirs, but
Right.
the Blizzard launcher is well known for all the cool stuff you can do on there. Hey,
I think you're right that there is probably a group in Epic that's like, yeah, we should try this, but I don't think that. I think Fortnite's just too much of a giant boulder that's just tearing everything in its path.
Yeah.
They should just Heroes of the Storm Paragon,
Yes.
just like
Yes.
put in a Fortnite character and get the rights back to
Yeah.
Marcus Phoenix.
Yeah, Bob from Fortnite. Put him in the game.
exactly. Make an MMO, make a card game. Just get
Yes.
them lined up on there.
Yes,
and
yes.
Well, I mean, honestly, Save the World and Paragon, that's what it would take is like cross. If you things
course.
in Save the World unlock in Battle
Well,
Royale.
the V-Bucks. I mean, they kind of do already.
do.
Yeah,
they do.
but maybe something specific, like a specific parachute.
Right.
You can only get it from this mode.
You can only play on the new map if you finish Save the World.
or something. I mean, not
Yeah.
that extreme, but like
Ugh.
just
Why not?
some kind of clothing unlock. I think would be enough of an incentive for people.
If they gave me a really good dab, then yeah, I'd do it.
Yes,
The best
Lord
dab.
knows. Dab tech. Dominic from California says, I play PUBG and Xbox a lot. I have it on PC also, but most of my friends play on Xbox. It baffles me that this version is in the condition it's in on console. Weekly 10 gigabyte updates, crashes, desync issues, overall lag. I enjoy this game a lot, put in hundreds of hours for some reason. When it does run decent, it's a great time. Do you guys have any insight on just what the F is going on over there? Till then, I'll just keep playing this version at 10 frames per second.
I mean, we'd never even reviewed the Xbox version.
Yeah.
I'll make that very clear. A lot of people thought I was reviewing the Xbox version.
came
I
out
certainly
at the
got
same time,
lots
right?
of emails on that, yes. But we never actually dug into that one because we did know it had so many problems.
Yeah, and that's still technically the preview version on Xbox,
Yeah, I think
right?
so.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely certain. I haven't followed it.
I don't think anybody in the office is really playing that version anymore. It's
No.
kind of a flash in the pan, no pun intended, for this office playing the Xbox version.
Sure. I don't think, yeah.
Yeah, but boy, it's bad to hear that it's
bummer,
still in rough shape. I
Indeed.
mean, there's that news story. Imran, I don't know if you wrote it about like the big Blue Hole initiative that they're just
Oh, yeah.
calling Fix PUBG?
Yeah, they're starting a I think 4-month campaign or rest of 2018 campaign to take feedback on how to fix PUBG, but like people have been giving them feedback for 2 years, so
Right.
I'm guessing the reason they're doing this is because Call of Duty and Battlefield come out fairly soon, and they're worried that that market share is going to shrink.
Even more so than Fortnite, yeah.
Yeah.
Are they looking for like professional feedback? Is that the idea? Or
They're looking for people to just throw ideas at them, and then they'll work to see. Because, like, there was a thing a couple of weeks ago of PUBG was just randomly banning people, and that was a point where a lot of people just said, like, all right, screw this, we're done. And they've mostly fixed that, but it speaks to how rough that problem is with the community now that no one really trusts them to get anything right anymore.
Yeah, it's really wild. I mean, it runs fine enough for me on PC, but I understand people have
runs great for
1,000
me,
issues.
but there are
yeah.
issues. There's no doubt about that. There's
Yeah.
just been desync issues and hacking issues and all kinds of other things.
Right. It's just so rare to see a company launch their own initiative called Fix Our Game.
Yeah.
We're trying to do it. Please. We're building a list. Okay, Ryan from Missouri says, so I kind of feel late to the discussion with this question, but I was recently thinking about how about how id Software and Avalanche are teaming up to create Rage 2. And in doing so, I thought to myself, what developers I would like to see collaborate on something. The thought of Ready at Dawn and Naughty Dog came to me. The Order 1886 was and probably still is the best looking game, but lacked gameplay and good pacing. I'd love to see them team up with someone like Naughty Dog to deliver a more fully realized vision of the Order 1886, potentially a sequel or a new IP that the two developers co-create. What two developers would you guys like to see team up to create something great? By the way, is the case of two major developers collaborating a rare scenario? It is pretty rare, but it's always fun. I always love it.
Blizzard and Game Freak.
Okay, all right. On just a better version of Pokemon Go?
We make that Pokemon.
Or do you mean Blizzard and the Pokemon license?
Blizzard and the Pokemon license. It's nebulous because I've got to get like 3 companies in there, but that's what I want. I want a Blizzard MMORPG with Pokemon.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I want. I want Blizzard to make the Pokemon MMO.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Gosh. Okay,
Yeah.
sure. You boil it down enough, you could argue, wow, it kind of is Pokemon with the pets. Blah,
They
blah,
do
blah,
have
blah.
a very Pokemon-esque little mini
Right,
game.
right.
Yes.
They really go for it. That's a fun one. I'm trying to think of like good examples from the past, though. I was thinking,
I mean,
like,
there's a lot of stuff like Nintendo hiring people to make, like Sega to make F-Zero. Or
I like
things
more when it's like a
that.
visionary. Like I was thinking of like
Yeah.
Meteos with like Sakurai and Mizuguchi like working
Yeah.
together on DS, or even like maybe Tekken Cross Street Fighter. I guess you could count.
I remember reading interviews and stuff about Twin Snakes, Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, starting with like a lunch between Kojima and Miyamoto or something like that. And then they wrapped in Silicon Knights. They're like, what a great idea that we have. Let's get another developer to do this for us.
Right.
But that's
those two names,
fascinating.
and then Dennis Dyack right there in the Psycho Mantis fight room. They all have their pictures
He's the
up,
third
right?
wheel who doesn't speak Japanese at lunch, just kind of like looking back and
Sitting
forth.
there eating while he looks
Yeah.
up.
Maybe they'll think I'm smart if I just stay quiet.
Yeah, but stuff like that's fascinating to me. Just the
Yeah.
idea that those two guys would collaborate on anything is really exciting.
The Shadows of the Damned with Mikami and Suda 51.
that's the best Suda 51 game, hands down.
Okay, all right.
Have you actually like heard about the development of that game? They're like, there's a whole lot of stories about like the initial pitch was very different from what EA actually wanted. So they like the initial game was just him wandering through hell, and then EA was like, no, this needs guns. You can't sell the game without guns.
This needs to be
So
Resident
he-
Evil 4.
Weird.
He had to redo that pitch over and over until EA accepted it.
So
Oh, wow.
EA fixed the game, is what you're saying. Because I like that game a lot.
First time's ever happened. Rich Lynch from Los Angeles, California says, hey guys, why do games make you press start to get to the main menu? I don't have much to add. It just hit me that pretty much every game I've ever played gives me that prompt, and I have no idea why. This is a very smart email. I have no idea.
It's what the start button was made for.
Start the game.
What's the problem with just landing on a title screen?
There isn't. I mean, a lot of, on PC, it's just press any key a lot of times.
I mean, some games do it. Infamous does it, where you just go right into the game. There's no loading or anything.
You remember that?
Yeah.
That's
a great
insane.
game.
I wonder if it's like,
it also stood out to me as like a rare instance of that. Where
Yeah.
it just loads you right into your save without asking you, which I
And
love.
also, I
or
think
even just like going to the main menu of the options, though. Even that's rare, right?
more modern, I don't think it just goes to the main menu without you inputting start, and then you pick play from that menu, right?
That's what I'm talking about. I think
Right.
there's still the press options thing in so many cases.
I mean, that's just It's also like the attract screen. Is it just kind of that thing that you just have? It's tradition from the arcade age of like that sort of idea.
Or maybe it's like, so if you're spamming the button, you don't just automatically start a new game. There's still one layer removed or something.
I think it's just tradition at this point.
I think we should find out.
I would love to like ask a bunch of developers this and have this be the roundup of such a specific question. Yeah, good job, Rich Lynch.
Let's remember that one.
Never forget. Matt Bala from Buffalo, New York. A barren and godless land. Oh my God, Matt Bala. He says, hello, B, Hands, and the Wrecking Crew. Hello. Do you like to know how your food is made? See where the resources come from for everyday objects? Watch how programmers code? Well, I do, and that leads to my question. How do developers come up with the stories and gameplay behind the vaster RPGs and story-driven games? Do they write scripts? Are storyboards constructed? Do they literally write tomes of backstory that end up in the game as small pieces of lore you can discover? As a student of writing myself, I've always wondered the role the art form takes within video gaming and development. Shout out to WWF Superstars arcade game and Sunset Riders. Indeed. Yeah, this is an interesting one. Like, just how do you map that out? And
there's going to be some variance from team to team.
For sure, but like the huge RPGs, I'm sure there's weird docs and bullet points, but I think a lot of that, just like managing the text and stuff, I know from like our interview with 8.4, the localization company, that a lot of it's just like Excel spreadsheets. Sometimes not organized in a very efficient way. It's just, hey, in this box, it's this character saying this. Here's a translation for it, right? And that's how they just keep track of all of these different inputs for the game.
Yeah, I mean, talking to the, it's not an RPG, but talking to the Spider-Man writers, that was the sort of, what I sort of understood is how it was done, is that they just have a document that they all access and add to. And the interesting statistics that they had was like, they know how much they've written in there and how much they've deleted.
Right.
Which is kind of interesting. And I know I read once that BioWare, their first step for their RPGs, at least in the past, was to start with the Bible. Like, to start with the world building.
Every game is based on the Bible.
It's just the Bible for that universe.
I see.
Yeah. So, like, before, I think it was, I read about Jade Empire. That's what that game's called, right?
Yeah.
They started with, like, just, like, literal, just, like, here is what this world is, here's how it works, and then they set all that up first, and then they started developing the story.
Right. Which, in the case of Anthem, from visiting that studio on the cover story trip, the pitch was, which they still had around the office, where it's like, this is very dorky, but looks like they pulled it off, where they said, hey, it's the Avengers in the world of Lord of the Rings. Right. You're Iron Man in the world in Middle-earth,
No, it makes sense now.
Yeah, that's Anthem, everybody.
That's the
I was
Bible.
actually talking to Chris Avalone yesterday, and he was telling me that, like, they're working on Pathfinder, and since that's based on an actual D&D campaign, they took like these they have file documents of, here's the paragraph the D&D campaign says about this one tower, and then here's like the 7 pages we like expanded the lore on it. So that's the way they're working on it, and that's actually a really interesting thing, because it's basically taking this single campaign and expanding it like 1,000-fold.
Yeah, that's cool. Did he mention anything about
Ben Hansen?
Yeah, did he please tell me he mentioned me. No, what is Dying Light 2? Did he mention
He did not talk about, because it was only about Pathfinder, so we didn't get into other subjects.
Also, I just realized I have the entire script on my computer for Summoner on PlayStation 2, the Volition RPG, and I think that's just written up like a Word doc, and it's just like thousands of pages. So I'll send that to you.
Did you guys ever? I think Frank Cifaldi posted it the other day, but like when Beyond came, you know how David Cage brags every time, like, oh, the script is 2,000 pages long.
Right. Yeah.
When Beyond came out, Quantic Dream sent out the script for the game, like it's a prop, and then like the actual script itself was blank past the first page, so it was just this 2,000-page bound script that is not in any way useful to anybody.
Yep, here it is. If you're watching the video
we found
version,
it.
we got one of those, Imran. This was marketing, I guess, for Beyond Two Souls.
Yeah,
and it's just like Imran says. It's just blank. It's just blank pages to simulate how long the script is physically.
And the quality of Beyond Two Souls script. You're doing it, Jody!
But yeah, wow. I remember getting this, and we were just like, thanks, I guess. I don't know.
No, I get it. It's the story that you tell, you write it yourself as you go.
Oh, I get it now. Anyways, good question. Okay, next email is from David in Bartonville, Illinois, saying, GI Show crew, what launch titles would you like to see with the next generation of consoles? I'd love to see a new Infamous or Bioshock game. Keep dreaming. Also, what are your favorite launch titles? That's a good question, but I'm more interested in the next generation. What do you guys think? What are we lined up for? What's going to launch next consoles?
A spiritual successor to the Dark Souls series.
Another Souls-esque kind of
From
thing.
Software?
Yeah, so From Software action.
Are you saying Bloodborne 2 is just going to be launched PS5?
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
It'd be kind of cool to launch a new Xbox with a Halo. I mean, that's kind of the history of that.
Well, what do you think
The original
about
Halo.
the light discussion about how Halo Infinite could come out for Xbox One and then it might be cross-gen, so technically they would launch it with Xbox 2 or whatever the hell it's called?
Yeah.
Do you like that
Twilight
idea, Imran?
Princess
Do you think
style.
that's going to happen?
I mean, that's the thing. Everything we've been seeing announced this past E3 and might be coming out in the next year or two is almost surely going to be a cross-gen game too. Like, they're not going to not release Tomb Raider again.
Yeah.
That, like, Shadow of the Tomb Raider should just be called version 1.0 versus version 2.0 next 2 years.
I actually like that approach to console launches. I don't know if it maybe some people think it feels cheap, but I like when like a game that I've been excited for, like Breath of the Wild, you know,
Right.
like I was reading about that for one console, but then I was excited for the game, but then my first experience with this new console is to play this game that I've been hearing about for a while. If that makes sense, I don't know. I like seeing. I like seeing like ports to new gen of old games
Right.
early on because it's just a chance to try out your new system.
And I wonder if something like Dreams is going to be ready to go launch a PS5 as well.
Yeah.
You know, in theory, if it's launching
Dreams.
in 2019 for Media Molecule. But like on the Sony front, hang on, Dan, you have something to say?
I'm just dreaming right now.
Dream, thrill of a lifetime. But thinking about Sony and what would be lined up in time, like I could see them launching it with Horizon Zero Dawn 2.
That'd be cool.
Like, you know, they can, like that team can hit a release window. They got Killzone Shadowfall in time for the launch of the PS4, I believe, right?
It does seem like a slam dunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the timing works out well there. I think ideally they would want God of War 2 to hit that
Another
launch as
slam
well,
dunk,
but
yeah.
I'm guessing that'll be like a year later.
I think they could make that. It's going to be a tight timeline, but it could happen.
It could happen, but I very much doubt it. Even though, I mean, maybe if they retained a lot of that world and just kind of revamped it, which in theory, story-wise, they could.
In theory.
I think it'd be a little bit disappointing, but, you know, I could see it in the 6-month window or something after launch of the PS5.
Yeah, I'd be okay.
I
with
could see
that.
Death Stranding being like Last of Us was on PS3, like comes out the year of the console and just gets re-released again.
Right.
Yes,
yeah.
I'm
Yep.
okay with that.
I could definitely see that. Are we missing any other big studios that are missing in action right now?
I think of Microsoft stuff. I mean, any of those new studios they've acquired might have projects.
The new
that could be
Fable,
ready.
right?
Oh, yeah. That would be a great launch title.
Timing-wise,
That they
if it's
haven't announced yet?
2020 in theory.
Yeah, that could certainly happen. They've
Yeah,
been working
you're
on it for a
right.
while, right?
I would love that.
Yeah, that seems likely.
A nice meaty RPG.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think Rocksteady's game would be the launch of next generation at this point?
Sure.
Yeah, just because we don't know anything about it. You know
Yeah?
what I mean? I mean, there could be like this sudden sprint where it's like, here's the game, and it's
Right.
coming out in 6 months. But
Yeah.
I don't feel like that's going to happen.
I don't feel it either. Let's see. Joseph D. from Kansas City, Missouri says, I dare you all to chug your drinks.
Well, I don't have much left, so this
okay,
isn't that
okay.
tough.
Hello, Ben and the GI crew.
We did it. Email of the week.
I recently bought a used Vita with a 32 gigabyte memory card for $150. I'm not saying it was my best decision, but there are a few games on it that I wanted to play. With that being said, besides the couple that I already had in mind, I can't think of any other games to buy.
Yeah.
Please help me justify my purchase by suggesting some good exclusives or even some great games that would be good on the go.
For what, the Vita?
Yep.
There's a
Also, why does a new PS Vita cost more than $200? I had no idea the price was still so high. That's crazy.
I know there's a lot of good JRPGs on there.
There are, yeah.
Yeah.
Just go back in time.
You can Sound Shapes if you want non-JRPGs is great on Vita.
Yeah.
Iconoclast just came out. That's the version that I reviewed. Was the Vita version?
I was
I really
looking for
liked it.
exclusives if that's an option.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Sound Shapes is out on PS3 as well as Vita I
And
think,
PS4.
right? And PS4. Okay.
The thing is, the Vita exclusive list kind of dwindles down until you
Yeah.
start talking about JRPGs specifically or Japanese content that maybe not everyone will be into.
There's also
Right.
I really like the original Gravity Rush, but that did get ported to PS4 eventually.
yeah, that version's better.
The Golden Abyss, I just played the first half of not too long ago, and it's like better than I thought it would be.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of exclusives is kind of a tall order.
Spelunky might as well be exclusive because
Yeah.
having that game portable is probably the best way to play it.
That's
The
interesting.
Media Molecule game is really good on Vita.
Tearaway.
The Vita version is very good.
Oh, is that right?
Also, there's a great library of old PlayStation 1 games that are compatible in Vita. Like I use that as a PS1 player
Totally.
a lot. So
And
look into that
PSP
store.
games too. So
Yeah.
if you want to go down that road,
Mega Man X,
Ooh.
Maverick Hunter.
Patapon, yeah,
Yeah.
get all that stuff rolling. There we go. JV, wait a minute.
Hey, JV, what's up, buddy?
JV from DC.
No, there's not another
Explain
JV.
yourself, JV.
Yeah.
there's two of
But
them.
they spell it with a Y, or sorry, with an I. So I'm very confused.
Okay.
They say Game Informers. I need to be game informed. Okay. My girlfriend loves horror movies and games. Me, not so much. But I'm willing to play along. My only real horror game experience was playing Resident Evil on the original PlayStation when I was maybe 13, and I was scared to death. Her birthday is next month, and I want to get her 1 or 2 solid horror games for PS4 or PC. She's already played Resident Evil 7, so not that.
Amnesia, The Dark Descent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
old.
I mean, you could go back through the Resident Evil library, and that's a weird series that like functions well as a game that you play with somebody else, even though you're actively not playing cooperatively. If that makes sense. Like the Resident Evil 1 remake is a good game to play with somebody.
That's a really good suggestion because he would like it, even though he
Yeah.
was scared of it. He'd probably want to revisit that in some weird way. You're totally right.
And then Resident Evil 5, if you do want to do co-op, that's available on PS4 as well, and
Right.
that's split screen co-op, and it's
Yeah.
great. Resident Evil 5 is great.
He asked about Outlast and Evil Within.
Should be
Outlast 1 is good.
Yeah.
Outlast 1. Okay.
Should be Amnesia. And given their love of like horror movies and stuff together, they should play that one game where you make the choices and it's a horror movie.
Oh,
and
Until
everybody dies.
Dawn.
That's the
Oh,
one.
Oh yeah,
That
absolutely.
seems like a dead ringer.
That's
as
like
they
on my
say.
list.
Gosh, there
Yeah.
we go. We did our job, everybody.
Dawn,
I
for
feel
sure.
very good about that.
Thank you, Dan. Good job.
All right, Jerry from Gilbert, Arizona, not Arkansas, says, hello, Ben and crew. Although The Last of Us Part 2 is a ways away, it's never too soon to do a little speculation. A while back, it was confirmed that Ellie would have an NPC with her throughout the game. With that in mind, I've devised a little game for the panel to play. Below is a list of some of the possible characters that could be taking along with Ellie. As a group, I would love to hear your thoughts on the percent chances one of them is the companion.
Okay.
Ready?
This is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Joel,
0%.
80%.
50%.
I'd go like 30.
Okay.
Oh, we're all over the place.
Dina, who's Ellie's apparent girlfriend from the E3 trailer.
90%.
For the first 2 hours of the game, 90%.
Right. I think that's the caveat, right?
Right.
So,
Then a fridge is falling on her.
right.
A fridge.
Yeah, she's
She's
gonna
going to get
kill. There's
fridged.
no way.
Yes.
Yes.
Like Earthworm Jim?
I was going more for she's going to get fridged, but yeah.
Okay.
Which, killing the love interest, it seems so obvious, but somebody, oh God, I can't remember if it was Waypoint, somebody asked Neil Druckmann and Sarah Gross, the writer at E3, about that concept. Like, hey, I don't want you to spoil anything, but what do you think about the concept of fridging? And like,
I'm sorry. What is fridging? I've never heard
that's like
this
where
before.
you take it away,
You
Imran.
create, all right. Yeah.
So it was a Green Lantern comic where he walked home he got home and he sees his girlfriend like chopped up in the fridge, and it was like the concept refers to when you take a female character and just kill them as motivation for the male character.
Okay, gotcha.
Right. But in this case, it would be
We're
for
extrapolating
Ellie's
that,
sake
yeah.
there. But anyways, their reaction was like, oh, we don't want to spoil anything, but it seemed pretty likely that this girlfriend's really going down.
So characters will die in The Last of Us 2?
Right. But
Shocker.
I think structurally, I imagine they're going to mirror it a lot like Joel's daughter. That's the way I'm envisioning it. Anyways, what about Jesse, Dina's ex-boyfriend?
Is that
Was he in the trailer?
character in the trailer? Is that the
I
guy
don't know.
that just comes up and talks to her?
99. No, I don't
Zero-
yeah.
0%.
5%.
0%.
Laura Bailey's unnamed character from Paris Games Week's trailer.
25.
50%.
Really?
Yeah, unnamed. Yeah.
Oh, like partnering up with someone with a big baddie?
Yeah.
Okay. Animal companion.
10%.
Giraffe following you the entire game. Just like ducking through doorways.
Yeah, 15.
Okay,
Sure.
5%. All right. A combination of multiple characters.
I'd say like 80%.
I think 80. I'll go with 100%.
Because you're going to
on that.
have that one character for like some of it. And
Right.
then
And then probably Joel for some of it.
I
And
bet
then
Joe will. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For some of it.
He'll have like the ghost tail, like from Dragon Ball, right? Because he's already dead, as everybody knows from the first trailer.
Does that
Isn't
list
true.
not mention either of the two the Asian characters from that trailer from?
Wasn't one of those?
I don't know, unless one of those is Jesse.
I think
I'm
yeah.
not
I think,
familiar.
I think one of those was Jesse. That was my
Okay.
gambit anyway.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Otherwise, Jerry says, what are the odds of a character yet to be revealed being your companion throughout the entire game?
Certainly possible.
Fairly high.
20.
Wait, Imran, what's your number?
I would put that at like 70, 80.
Wow.
Okay, wow, there we go.
Wow.
Interesting. Ethan writes in and says, "Hey, Game Informer. While playing Destiny 2 with a friend, we began having a discussion on the coolest-looking planets in the solar system. I stand by my claim that Saturn is obviously number one. He disagrees. What do y'all think?"
What did he?
I want to know the right answer.
I want to know what was the disagreement. I want to know what the other pick was.
Yeah. What else is there?
Jupiter.
Jupiter's interesting. I like a good
Jupiter-
Uranus.
Saturn-
Or like a good. I'm sorry, a good Neptune. I meant to say.
It's also just blue.
It's blue,
Saturn
but there's
has
like
the
shades in
ring.
there. It's prettier.
Yeah, the ring.
Saturn has the ring. It wins.
Saturn is the most distinct. Remember, we all remember the scene in the movie Home where the ship came to Earth and it came through the rings and it looked all awesome, and we're all like, "That's cool."
It's Saturn.
That's the best part of
But
the
I do
movie.
want to know what the dissenting opinion was.
Yeah. I also really liked it in Final Fantasy VII when Sephiroth uses that move that sends the meteor through
it's so
Jupiter
great.
and it makes the big donut hole and then explodes.
And it does 20 damage.
It's really sweet.
Jupiter's number 2, I think.
Yeah,
Earth is in there somewhere.
Yeah, I think Earth, you guys. If you ask this reporter, Earth. That's
see
all.
that Great Wall
Film
of
at
China
11.
on it.
Joe Alizia from Roselle, Illinois says, "Hey, GI crew. Recently I started playing through the Metal Gear Solid series again. I just finished
job.
Snake Eater and have been mulling over a bunch of questions. I thought maybe y'all would like to take a crack at them. We would. What are the chances?" That's where he brings this up. "What are the chances we'll ever see a version of Twin Snakes outside of the GameCube?"
I think pretty high.
What are you talking about?
I would say none.
Dude,
I think they remake the game. I don't think they port Twin Snakes again.
100%.
you guys, that's what you guys think?
100%.
I mean, it's already there, though, right?
Yeah, it's been sitting there for
It's been there for a
years.
while.
Look, you guys are all making very good points, and I'm rethinking
But
my
I agree
original
with Kyle,
stance.
like 100%. Higher than the Animal Companion for Ellie.
Yeah.
With Metal Gear Survive looking like a commercial failure, will Konami try to return to the series proper? Let's say within the next 5 years.
Sure.
I think so. A new
Let's
story-driven
say
Metal Gear?
yes.
I say no.
I mean, they
What
will.
does Return to the Series mean?
I think Metal Gear Solid 6, that's what that means.
You don't think that'll ever happen?
if it's
not in the
talking
next
about Metal
5
Gear
years.
Solid 6, I don't know that there are plans for that yet.
Okay, all right. Do you know some stuff, Imran?
I know some stuff that I don't feel like telling.
They don't feel like
People will love that.
Yeah, they will. Oh, boy, they're going to love that.
Should there be
The
more...
series isn't dead. Let's just put it that way. Konami wants to get back into the series.
Oh, really?
What a twist.
Yes.
Interesting. Should there be more side stories like Ghost Babel? Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think
Ghost
that's
Babel was great.
Why don't they re-release Ghost Babel? There's no good platform for it. Maybe like if Nintendo releases like the Game Boy Classic, maybe they could put it on that.
Oh my God, they're still going to do that too.
It's
Yeah.
not on 3DS Virtual Console, right?
I don't think
No.
so. No.
Okay.
With David Hayter returning as Snake for Smash Bros. Ultimate and Super Bomberman R, will it be outlandish to maybe re-record Phantom Pain with him as Snake instead of Kiefer? Or
Yes,
just like an
that's a
alternate track? Yeah, I don't think
0%.
I just want him to do, without spoiling anything, I want him to do a scene in the beginning of that game in the hospital room.
There's
and then I'd feel content.
There's a
you know
scene
what I
in
mean?
the end I'd like him to do as well.
Is it too much to ask? Just do the entire game. It's like 14 lines.
Just do it.
Yeah, as Big Boss says in that game, do it. But he's talking about a horse pooping, Dan Tag. Remember that?
Yeah, gosh, I love... No, I don't remember that. I
really?
didn't play through the whole thing, so...
It's good. You should. It's good. Possibility of a Big Boss version of Snake in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I feel like it's already in there with like the costume changes.
Yeah.
Like you can have like camo Snake, and at that point,
But I guess they're talking about like is this like a reference to like the Shadow version of Snake, right? That's what it would be.
Like
the
an Echo
like an Echo character.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That'd be cool. I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I don't think so. I
Yeah.
think it's basically already in there. Anyways, Rex or Ray?
Oh, that's a good. Ray. I think Ray's cooler.
Of course.
Ray is cooler,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I have more nostalgia for Rex.
Yeah.
Okay, Dan Tag.
I don't know either character well enough.
If I could have one, I would say I'll take a Ray, please. Make mine Ray, to quote
Right.
Chuck Cork.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, I think the Ray design is incredible. Okay, email of the week. What do you guys like?
Start button.
Yeah, that was
Really?
good. It's
That's. I mean, I have no idea why that is, so I'd love to know myself.
It's
so
cool.
that's why I pick it.
It's a deceptively simple question, which I
It
like about it
is.
because you're like, well, obviously the start button is there, and then you kind of cut yourself off, and you're like, oh, that's
I think
a,
it may
that's actually a really
be
good
like
question.
an archaic element of design that's just been kept over.
Grandfathered in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the big butts. No, I like the favorite recommendation one too.
That's interesting.
Favorite recommendation
You just
one?
wanted to tell the story about
Baba Yaga.
giving your aunt.
I just want to talk about Baba Yaga.
You really did just want to talk about Baba Yaga.
Well, of course.
I like the start button. That would be
All right. I'll
Just
go with
because it's
that.
so simple but
Yeah.
so compelling.
Imran, how do you like that?
Yes, Heart Button works.
There we go. Rich Lynch from Los Angeles, California, which I think is the official doubling up. Speaking of big butts, double up in Los Angeles, California. That's 2 pins.
Whoa.
For LA. Congratulations.
Butt cheek on our map now.
The big LA butt cheek, they call it. Cool. All right. Congratulations, Rich. Congratulations, LA. For now, do you guys want to talk about Smash Brothers and Evo and everything good under the sun?
Yeah.
I do.
Yep.
Here we go. Okay.
We're going to Evo. We're going back.
Traveling to Evo, everybody.
The screen slides in.
So stupid. Okay, I'm still here. Suriel Vasquez is here.
Hi.
Now, we also have Imran still here and Kyle Hilliard still here.
Yep.
We're talking about Evo, everything that's fighting under the sun. But to start out, no offense to Evo, I feel like we should talk about this Smash Direct, which came, like all great directs, a little bit out of the blue.
It was announced at Evo, actually.
Was it really?
Yeah. It
Oh,
was
fun. Okay.
After
It was
the end
like
of
a-
the Melee Finals.
Like a Saturday evening-ish.
It was
Right.
Sunday
Okay.
afternoon.
Okay.
This Smash Bros. Direct, oh my god. I felt like we had kind of peaked for Smash hype. E3, it just locked in like, yep, this looks like everything I want from a Smash game. I'm good to go. I didn't think my excitement could be bumped up anymore, even though I love the series so much.
Yeah.
Watching this Direct, it skyrocketed. It went through the rafters like the graph of how many stages are in this level, which are in this game, which they did such a good job of representing.
Yeah.
It just kept going and going.
I think part of it was just the realization that there's still like a lot of stuff that's new in the game.
Yeah.
You know, because like the big exciting thing about the E3 was like, oh, this is everything from the past all in one package. That's awesome. And
Right.
then this one was more like, oh, by the way, there's like a ton of new stuff too. And it was
It's-
really
yeah.
exciting.
Also, we're killing Luigi.
That was great.
Okay, so I was out of town during all this, and it's one of those things like, you know when you're not plugged into a meme, then you come into the room after the fact, and the room's on fire, just to quote a meme from Seinfeld there.
That was from Community.
Is it from Community?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, there we go. I'm not meme friendly. But what is going on? Is just because there's the trailer, Luigi dies in it, that the world thinks that Luigi's actually dead?
Did you watch it?
So
Yeah. It's a Smash trailer. Like you pointed out, in like the Ridley reveal trailer, all those characters died too. Like I don't understand this.
so Luigi is killed by death in the trailer, and then like it shows his spirit like disconnected from his body.
Yeah.
But then like the best detail is that he's not actually in the rest of the Smash Brothers Direct. Every other character is. They don't show him in
hilarious.
any footage.
That's so good. He just won't be in the game now because we made this trailer. We had
But
to
I mean,
make it lore.
there's already theories like about it tying into a potential like maybe like a story mode or something, because like Mario and Mega Man have been killed, Luigi have been killed, or those cutscenes from the game or
Right.
something like
there was
that.
in the Direct, there was one of the most, we can't talk about that yet, and it was like blurred out.
And it was a huge mode on the
Yeah, it was like
screen.
it was in the main menu. It was like one of the like icons there, and people sort of looked at that blurred text and said it might say spirits, which could tie into the ghost theme.
Yeah.
How confident are you that people are reading the pixelation correctly?
Well, when that part of the Direct came on, Cork very smartly, what I saw him do is he took several steps back from his computer and squinted.
And he shouted the word spirits.
I haven't figured this out.
We've got
Said
it.
it's a ghost.
And he jumped out the window, which I thought was weird.
Also DDD is probably dead as well, right?
Yeah, he was killed
Killed by
King
K.
K.
Rool.
Rool.
Okay. Those trailers so good. Big beats. Obviously, Simon Belmont from Castlevania is in
Yeah.
the game.
Richter.
And then
Andy Richter. Yeah.
Andy Richter,
Belmont.
as
Which
an
is,
Echo.
It just real quick, like Imran posted a story of like they accidentally posted some Castlevania music or something.
Yeah, they posted Bloody Tears, which is
Yeah.
Simon's theme.
Yeah,
And, like one of
so-
the most recognizable themes of Castlevania.
So I think a lot. At least I was like, okay, I think we're gonna get one Castlevania character, and
Yeah.
we got two. So out of the gate, it was like, oh my god.
Are people bummed out? I haven't really been glued in. Are people bummed out that Alucard is just an assist trophy instead of playable?
I
Some
am.
people
I told Kyle this exact thing.
Yeah.
My friend Aaron texted me that he was bummed about it, and I think he speaks for the wider.
How's he doing now?
He's doing okay. He doesn't seem too upset about it.
Okay.
But I will say, this is something Cyril and I talked about. My love for Castlevania starts with Symphony of the Night.
Yeah.
So like I really like Alucard. Like he's one of my favorite Castlevania characters. But if he were in the game, I think he would just be another sword wielder. So I think I would rather play with the whip as
Yeah.
a new weapon, even though I don't really have a lot of personal love for those
I think
characters.
Simon's the more distinct choice, but like they kind of rubbed it in when they were talking. Oh, he's an assist trophy. He's got all these different abilities. He can turn into mist. He can turn into bat.
Everything.
You're like,
cool.
yeah, he'd be a great character, wouldn't he?
He uses the best sword from Symphony of the Night.
But he's PlayStation focused, and everybody knows that they never put a PlayStation focused character in Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Don't count the
Except
other
for
ones.
Cloud and Snake.
Of
and
course, exactly. Yeah, it's all very silly. But I love that they focus like on, hey, look, you can control his whip any direction you want. It's like, yeah, we've been playing Sheik for like how long now? Like, it's all very natural to us at this point. But Castlevania, out of the gate, the trailer was so good of just Luigi from Luigi's Mansion walking through a Castlevania castle. So much fun. And then I love the detail of the fact that with Castlevania and the Castlevania stage, there are 34 music tracks.
Yeah.
And Sakurai even made some reference to like, yeah, it turns out everyone in our audio team is super into Castlevania's music, so we just couldn't cut him off, which brings the total music tracks in this game to over 800.
That's dumb.
It's insane. It's insane. But then at the end, they also reveal everyone's favorite King K. Rool is also going to be in the game from Donkey Kong Country. That trailer is also so much fun. Like Diddy and Donkey Kong like looking out the window as King DDD then turns into King K. Rool. It's a whole elaborate thing. But they do the dumbest gag, but I love it, where Donkey and Diddy's eyes bulge out of their head like a cartoon wolf seeing boobs, and the eyeballs shatter the glass window because they're so scared.
Which is
by
like,
this
if
thing.
you take a step back and like consider that in like a real world scenario, it just sounds terrible. It's just awful. Just your eyes breaking through glass. But yeah, it's so good.
Diddy
And
has literally seen some shit.
I love the original Donkey Kong Country. So King K. Rool was a huge surprise, and I love that he's in the game because my favorite Smash Brothers characters are those ones that are just like obscure. You know, that like maybe not everyone knows exactly who that is.
Right.
You know? Like Ness early on was like a lot of people didn't really know who Ness was. I always thought he was the coolest for that reason, and I feel like King K. Rool is kind of like that. I mean,
imagine like a dumb-looking Ness with lame moves. King K. Rool really has a lot of potential here.
He has a hat and a gun.
Hang on. So yeah, I was looking at those moves in the trailer. They're like, he throws his crown. Does he do that in the game?
Yeah.
He does.
Yes,
Okay.
it was the first boss, or first game's boss.
Okay. All right.
I was kind of surprised because they showed off one of the items reverses your controls, and I'm surprised they don't have King K. Rool do that in some way because that's one of the things he did in Donkey Kong Country 2.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
is that
think you're
right?
right. Yeah. And then there was the toxic swamp in 3.
Yeah.
So
But honestly, the most exciting part of that trailer is we get more Donkey Kong Country music in Smash,
Yeah.
which is like the theme that played during his introduction was like awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, other details. We mentioned the stages briefly, but 103 stages in this game.
again, dumb.
It's insane compared
And
to
they're all unlocked from the beginning. You don't unlock any
That's
of them.
also wild. Also, the idea that you can play 8-player on every
any
single
stage.
stage now.
Yeah.
It's just like this avalanche of those tiny details. Just like, what? That's so good. And also, like, music from, you know, you had the music selector thing in the old games. And then in this one, like, it's not locked down per stage. It's locked down by series. So it's no more like, oh, if you want this Mario song, you have to play on this Mario level. It's like, no, all Mario song available in all Mario stages.
And then you can turn up the percentage of like, I want Mario Sunshine music more often in
Well,
Mario
you could do that in
stages.
the last one.
Oh, you could? Oh,
Yeah.
I guess I never messed with
Yeah,
that
yeah,
setting.
you definitely
Okay.
could.
They also have a thing where you can morph 2 stages into each other.
Yeah,
which is
you can
pretty
set up
cool.
like a playlist where it'll rotate like every minute or like once throughout the match. So one stage will just become another stage. It's like, what? I didn't even know I wanted this from Smash.
Yeah.
But having like a constantly rotating thing of stages, just for a point of comparison with stages too, like the Wii U version, they had in that graph, it was like 52 stages, including all DLC,
Yeah.
something like that. Something in that ballpark. It's just an absurd amount of content.
But they haven't explicitly said that it has every stage from the game.
No,
They've said
there's a couple that are missing.
okay. Because they've said
Really?
every character for sure, but they've been very careful to avoid that language with
What's
stages.
missing?
So, like, there's a 3DS Pac-Man stage that actually used the 3DS, like, the fact that everyone had their own screen as part of its stage design.
Oh,
I
interesting.
think Yoshi's Woolly World is missing for some reason. Like, there's a couple of, like, notable exceptions.
There's probably also the Miiverse, the one that would bring in the quotes. From,
of
that's probably
course.
gone as well. I would
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah.
That's
right?
interesting, yeah. Well, you know what? I take it back. This game isn't worth buying.
Yeah,
Saffron
to be
City, though.
clear,
Yeah,
There's still tons of stuff.
I feel like it was a tease about maybe some more content to come, or maybe it just more so they're gonna have the classic kind of single player stuff if you want it in there. But they did that Rathalos is a boss,
Yeah.
and then also an assist trophy. So from Monster Hunter, just this giant Rathalos on the map.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So people noticed a very particular thing about that like they didn't explain was that the Rathalos stuff they showed him, like they showed single characters fighting him for one, not like a big group, which
Yeah.
they did for every other boss, but also that he was on a Monster Hunter 4 stage and they did not mention the stage at all.
Right. Okay.
So for some clarity, like he threw out the term bosses, like it was like I should know what that is.
They were.
I don't remember
Wii U.
fighting bosses in Smash Brothers in the Wii U version.
Yeah,
I
like
remember.
the classic thing. You like work your way through it.
Yeah, but I mean, they weren't like dedicated bosses though, right? Like
They were big things that showed up, and if you killed them yourself, then like it would cause an explosion that would hurt other people. But I think people kind of got tired of it because they had way too much health, and they were kind of annoying. Like it would basically, if one comes down, our fight would stop while everyone tries to kill it.
But was it?
So
I just don't remember. Was it like the normal fighters in the game that were like larger, or was it like different characters?
Yellow Devil was in Mega Man stage. The boss whose name I don't remember, but the big mech from Xenoblade was in that stage.
See, I guess I just thought of those as like level hazards.
Right.
I didn't think of them as bosses.
Yeah.
But I guess so they're
because
bosses.
they're beatable. Like that's why he calls them bosses.
Okay,
Also,
so
tiny
that's just my own
detail.
confusion.
Tiny detail I love in this one too is not only can you make every stage Battlefield or Final Destination, but also you can turn off hazards in every stage.
Yeah, you could turn off Yellow Devil.
Yeah, which is great because that's the main reason I would switch to like the Omega version, like the Final Destination version. Is I don't want to deal with the hazards, but I still love the layout of the stage. And just to have that option. New Donk City stage is in there, which is very exciting.
Pauline and the band.
Yeah, the band floats in.
I think you have to activate the band before they start playing too.
Yeah,
like there's little scenes of everyone jumping past the instruments.
Yeah,
and like it like sparkles, so that's kind of cool.
It's very cool. How was Smash at Evo this year?
I got to play it, which was funny because they had two separate lines for it. One of them was a one-on-one line, and the other one was a free-for-all line. And so I went there at like 8 a.m. just to like get it out of the way early. And already when I got there, the one-on-one line was like already wrapping around the booth.
That's awesome.
But no one in the free-for-all line. So
Really?
I got to play it twice in a row by just going in there and playing it. And then
GameCube controllers everywhere?
It was Pro controllers.
Oh, okay.
Or at least in the free-for-all one.
It's worth it. Serial didn't get to play it at E3, which I felt sad.
Yeah, so I finally got to play as Snake and Ridley.
Sorry. Oh, cool. You had a good time with that?
Yeah, Ridley's kind of weird, but Snake is, as you remember.
Ridley's a real freak.
Ridley seems really strong. Like I wonder if he's going to get nerfed a little bit before.
We don't know anything, but I guarantee it. So did they just had Melee at Evo though? Did they have any?
They had
novelty
Smash
rounds?
4. They had they had 9 games, but like 5 of them are in the main lineup, which is sort of the Sunday finals, which take place at the Mandalay Bay sort of event center.
Right.
And so everything else happens on Saturday, I believe.
Okay.
Of like we're gonna have them in the convention center, and they're we're gonna have like we're gonna be promoting them, and they're part of the lineup. But sort of the Sunday final ones are reserved for like the 5 with the most entrants.
Okay. In general, Imran, you watched a lot of Evo this year, is that right?
I watched all the finals and a bit of the pools, yeah.
Okay. How'd you guys think it all went down this year? Good Evo, bad Evo?
I think it was a pretty good Evo.
The Smash part was probably the worst Evo's been in a long time.
What happened?
Do you want to take it, Serial, or do you want me to?
So basically what happened was that Bayonetta was kind of like one of the best characters. It's probably, some people's, like, they say that she's the best character. But there were 2 of them in the finals, and everyone kind of had been tired of Bayonetta, so they started booing them.
No.
So the players were like, you know what, screw you guys, we're going to, like, start messing around up here. And, like, they kind of delayed the match. They kind of did some stuff like you wouldn't expect, competitive players to do. They kind of, they basically stalled a little bit because,
to punish the crowd?
Yeah, to sort of flip the finger to the crowd. So it was kind of like a mess.
And they literally flipped the finger to the crowd at one point.
Yeah.
And then they still chose Bayonetta?
Yeah.
When you said, like, messing, I thought, like, oh, they're all going to choose Kirby or something wacky, but no. Okay.
So there was some sort of, like, idea of, like, maybe they're colluding a little bit because it's like, it's not in the competitive spirit to mess around that way.
That sucks.
So that was a little disappointing. But it kind of gives me the impression that with Smash Ultimate announced, everyone's kind of maybe a little bit checked out of the Smash scene. But there's also the idea, for the Smash community, they're big enough that EVO isn't their biggest event. Like they have events like of that size, of that prestige all throughout the year. So they don't take EVO as seriously. As every other fighting scene basically, but yeah, it was a little disappointing to just sort of see that stuff come out. Like it gave a very bad impression of the Smash 4 community.
Oh, that sucks.
Which is a bummer.
Like you never boo. That's completely just a faux pas.
Yeah, sometimes you'll boo jokingly, but like not like you're never really serious about booing someone. But yeah, it was a little unfortunate.
Okay, what was the highlight of Evo this year?
Probably Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Yeah, here we go. Here we go, Kyle. Here we go. Hot shot. Here we go. I watched this. I watched the finales, and it's very fun. It takes a lot. I've dabbled with Evo in the past, but I think it speaks to the quality of Dragon Ball FighterZ, and especially like the commentary, which I thought was fantastic. We're like, I was surprisingly invested.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to sit down for an extended period of time and
Yeah.
watch this to conclusion.
I think you guys would have enjoyed the in-house. So they have separate tracks of like one of them is the in-house at Mandalay Bay commentary, and one of them is the sort of the stream one. And Hell Pockets, who was doing the commentary in-house, was doing a Hercule impression the entire time.
Oh my god! Like a good impression.
Yeah, it was like it was like you could tell, but like
hang on, I've been meaning to ask you, sir.
It was a
how did it go again?
Hercule?
Yeah.
I don't know that I can do
Just
a
say
good
the word
Hercule.
brother.
Brother.
Just like impersonate.
It's a Hogan impression.
Yeah,
Do like just do that Hulk Hogan sex tape you're always quoting.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna do it to you.
Wasn't the part I was talking about? But yeah.
So they had that. So they had that, and then one of the memes that came up with Dragon Ball FighterZ was that every time Cell did his intro, he has this very loud yell. So they did that in the entire like Mandalay Bay arena. Every time they'd have an intro for Cell, they would just yell.
And then I saw it like in the stream, at least it came across as it got to the point where other characters, everybody's like charging intro, the entire crowd just go, ah!
Yeah, so they started doing it for Kid Buu, and they started doing it for like anytime Yamcha did the Wolfang Fist. Everyone started like imitating wolves. So like there was a lot of there was a lot of fun stuff with like how the show and that game sort of like are both love letters to Dragon Ball, and like it was a lot of fun, and seeing like the narrative of the sort of the tournament itself play out was really cool.
So Sonic Fox versus Goichi seemed to be the big rivalry. Is that fair for the Dragon Ball Fighter section?
They've been trading wins for a while. And like Sonic Fox has famously talked some smack about Vegeta as an anchor. So when he first lost, like his first big loss was to Goichi using Vegeta.
Oh, wow. Because the commentators, they said something about like how Vegeta is very popular amongst Japanese players, but it's a more like safe choice, more defensive in general. Is that right?
Yeah, basically you use him for his assist because he can extend combos. Like basically if you want like a get off me button, of you just spam calling that assist, and it's very difficult to and it basically shifts the momentum in your favor.
Okay.
But yeah, Sonic Fox basically the night before he'd actually lost an exhibition to Goichi. But he said like, oh, I was playing terrible. I was kind of out of it. Like I didn't feel like it affected me too much. But then he came back and sort of he got to grand finals on the winner's side, which means he didn't drop a game. But then Goichi made it on the loser's side, and he beat him. And so they had a thing where like Sonic Fox wanted to switch sides. So because he was playing
weird.
He was playing on the 2-player side, and so he asked the judges after he lost to switch to the 1-player side, which he said made him feel more comfortable. And
Goichi did it. Like it was a weird discussion for a while.
He was just I just want to play it out, and like whatever. Like it didn't make a difference for him, but obviously it helped Sonic Fox because he ended up winning the next set. 3-0.
I mean, it kills momentum. Like whether that was the intention or not, it does kill momentum.
For sure.
Yeah,
absolutely. And Kyle, just to set the scene here, Goichi is like a very stoic Japanese guy, and Sonic Fox is a boisterous furry. He's a guy in literally a fox mask, and after he wins every match, he puts on his mask and like howls at the moon and stuff.
He takes off the mask to play?
Yeah.
He put it on or off depending on the match. But
oh, really?
Yeah.
In previous tournaments, he keeps it on. So like taking it off for the Evo finals is like some real like Goku taking off weighted clothing kind of thing.
And at the end, I don't know if this was intentional, but he totally did the thing where he was like super excited, started rolling around the floor, and did the thumbs up sign that Gohan does after he beats Cell at the end of the Cell saga.
That's so cute.
And then he texted like, "I'm gay, also the best Dragon Ball Fighter player in the world. Don't forget it." Like that's
cool.
Like while he was on the stage, he tweeted that. Like
all right.
And like it was such a fun event to watch all around, just because it shows sort of like how the more freeform, like fighting game communities, like they just let this happen. Like it would have felt a lot more fabricated if it were like Dota, like a lot more calm.
Yeah.
Because you look at a lot of those events and it's just like everyone walks up, they shake each other's hands as they cross, and all the interviews are like, yeah, I played the game better than they did. We did really well.
Right.
But just seeing people like get off their seats and just start running around it after they win is like such an incredible thing.
Yeah. And how do you think the gameplay held up? I was shocked watching it, where it was like the commentators would call it based on like one opening on like 3/4 health. They'd be like, oh, this character's dead. Yeah. Like it's so combo heavy. I think it plays, and it's very easy to watch. It's very fun to watch, but still as a spectator, it's shocking. Just like if there's one slip up, one little opening, it's like, oh, this character's gone.
It is much more exciting when that doesn't lead to a kill. It's just like, oh, he dropped it. Okay, he has one more chance. But it was definitely, you definitely felt it in the crowd a little bit of just like, all right, he's got him in the combo. Like, we're going to cheer as soon as they start, getting the combo in. But then they kind of dies off and like you're just kind of waiting for it to happen. And sort of the complaint, I was walking around the arena during Dragon Ball FighterZ a bit, and someone who I'm pretty sure was working for the event center was like, do you know how long this goes on? And I was like, it's been going on for about 3.5 hours. And then, is the next game that long? Like, with the implication of like, these people need to go home. Like the people who work here.
You knew what was going on.
Yeah, and I was like, it's not as long, but
Yeah. Another fun thing that the crowd really got into was summoning the dragon.
Yeah.
Summoning Shenron in Dragon Ball FighterZ, which made it seem like it didn't happen very
it does not
at all.
It does not happen very often, and I think he got it off twice during their entire set.
Right. And so then you have the choice of like reviving someone that died, regaining your health, full bars. What are the other options?
You get basically, I think, infinite meter.
The world's most comfortable
and then you get
panties.
another you get another sparking blast.
Right, exactly. But he went for like reviving his health.
Refilling his health.
Because if you bring back a teammate, it's only 25% health, so that's like one combo.
Right. But it's just so much fun to see like a crowd react like, Shenron's coming out to play, and everyone's losing it. Yeah, it's so fun.
And like I think all of those had like all the games there had really good storylines, and I think a lot of it leaned on sort of the very easy storyline of like, here's an American making their way through sort of like a foreign bracket. So it happened in Guilty Gear.
Okay.
There's a guy by the name of Lost Relic who made it to 3rd, and everyone else in that bracket was Japanese. Tekken happened, like I think he got 2nd. Lil Majin, who was also playing King, which is my favorite character in Tekken.
It was exciting. Like that was the most exciting I've ever seen Tekken.
Yeah. Because
Really?
like King has a lot of bombastic moves where he'll be a full screen away and just do this thing where he just jumps up and like smashes you, and he has a thing where he just does like an elbow, like he jumps and does an elbow drop, and he would just pull those moves at random.
Oh wow!
And it was like the craziest thing, and people were so excited about it. And then Melee had a storyline where like there was a guy named Leffen. So there's like these 5 gods of Melee that basically win every tournament that one of them is at.
Okay.
And Leffen was like the first person to not be one of those gods that ended up winning.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
And so that was pretty cool. And then in Street Fighter, Problem X sort of like won it for the UK, which is the first time that the UK had ever won EVO. In Street Fighter. And he beat Tokido, which was last year's champion. So it looked very much like it was going to be a repeat of last year, where Punk made it to grand finals, and then Tokido came in from the losers bracket and basically beat him 6-0.
Okay.
It looked like that was about to happen, but Problem X was able to turn it around with Bison, like of all characters, which is not a character you see a lot.
Sure.
And one of my favorite things from the crowd was that they had L.I. Joe, who had made it to top 8 in 2016. He was doing the commentary in-house, and he would do these little like imitations of Bison's moves. So like one time he won a round with the slide, and he would look to his friend in the audience and sort of like go like, yeah, and he would just like do the slide motion as he was walking around. Or imitate like Bison's, like, you know how he moves his hand back and forth during his stance. He would do that like while he was looking at his friend, which kind of like
taunting.
Yeah, it was like this weird thing, but it was like super fun to watch. And they had Fudo from Daigo's team was there, and he was like one of the top 8 finalists, and his team was in the front row, and they had these cardboard cutouts of Fudo that they were cheering him on with.
It's cute.
So there was a lot
showmanship, except for Smash 4.
Yeah. And one thing I did want to point out real quick is that like Saturday night, I think they had Soul Calibur. They had a Soul Calibur tournament, and I thought that was one of my favorite finals, just because like it was. I'd never heard of any of these players before.
Was it 5?
Yeah, it was 6.
Okay.
So they had like hey, come in, we're gonna have a big tournament, and just come in and play. And it was like really exciting because it showed off like how exciting that game can be as a spectator sport. Like there was one round where someone was like almost dead and managed to like basically use Keelik to basically flip them over to the end of the stage and like basically win the round. There was a lot of like Ivy, basically like she has this move where she plants her sword in the ground and comes out the other end because it's like a extended whip thing. And there was one time where like one of the characters jumped over it, like it basically anticipated and jumped over the trap. Like it was a lot of fun watching that as well. Like, and that game's not even out, which is pretty cool.
Right. That's wild. Evo, check it out. Did you write something on the site? You gonna write something for the magazine?
Yeah, I've got a couple of things coming. So.
Okay.
We can't move past Evo without talking about Tekken's DLC, though.
Oh, right.
Oh,
Yeah. Some of
what's
the
going on?
announcements. So, I mean, Imran, you can take that one.
So they announced like 2 returning characters, Anna and Lei Wulong. But then after that, they announced Negan from The Walking Dead.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, none of us knew. None of us had any idea what was going on.
Negan. Okay.
Are they licensing the actor who plays him?
I would assume so. It's his voice in the trailer.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
How does
And
that
unexpected.
work?
I don't know.
Well,
Like,
an actor gets hired and he goes.
All right.
yeah, for
Because
Smash
they-
they announced the direct, which kind of bummed some people out of like, show us something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then for Street Fighter, they announced G and Sagat would be coming out the day after, which is kind of exciting because everyone was just expecting G, but then we got both Sagat and
Sagat
G.
isn't in Street Fighter 5?
No, he is now.
That's crazy. I just assumed he was there.
Yeah.
And then Cooler from
Yeah.
Fighters?
Yeah.
Cooler,
Yeah.
They showed off Cooler.
That's cool.
That's been part of that leaked list for a while, so there's only probably one more DLC character for this season.
Do we know what it is from that leak?
Probably
list?
17.
Android 17 from
Oh,
Super.
Okay. Oh, from Super.
Yeah.
Hang on. Am I not far enough in Super for that to make sense?
Does he have longer
If you're at the
hair?
Tournament of Power, you're there, but if you're not there yet, then he's not shown up.
Okay, I'm not there
Okay,
yet.
well, thank you for the spoiler.
Hanson and I are wading through the Goku Blacks.
No, I'm after that. And like,
Oh,
the
you
last-
got ahead of me, damn it.
the episodes after that Goku Black Zamasu Dirge, episodic Dirge, are so much fun. Like
Okay.
some of the most fun Dragon Ball episodes I've ever seen in my life. They're incredible, and I want that show to finish strong.
Yeah.
Anyways, Kyle, did you watch that Mega Man show?
No, I'm so sorry. I haven't.
Imran, did you watch that Mega Man show?
I got through the first episode and I was like, this kind of sucks. And then I tried to load up the next one and it didn't work. Like it wasn't actually loading. So I used that excuse to give up.
Yeah,
That's fair.
that trailer was not great. It is funny though to look at that show and think and compare it to like Mighty Number 9, which I feel like Mighty Number 9 was
boy.
supposed to be like, you know, we're remaking we're doing the Mega Man that you want, and we're doing a cartoon show, and it totally crashed and burned. And now Mega Man 11 is coming out, and they have a show that's done, that's on the air.
Yeah.
It's just like they're doing everything Mighty Number 9 was supposed to do.
Yeah, I watched the first 2 episodes of it, and it doesn't feel like it's tied into Mega Man 11 in any way, but
Yeah.
they do some weird things with the Mega Man universe. First of all, they give Mega Man a Jiminy Cricket.
Yeah, the Mega Mini, I think his name is.
Yeah, and he like lives in his helmet and like controls when Mega Man's transforming, and he sounds like
Wait, it's like a Ratatouille situation?
Yes, except imagine that instead of Patton Oswalt, it just sounds like Rocket Raccoon. It's just this kind of like East Coast.
Bradley Cooper's in it?
Yeah, robot in his head there for like comic relief. And the other thing they do that's weird is like Mega Man can absorb the Robot Master's power before they die or anything, and he kind of like leeches it off them. But he also absorbs part of their personality. And so he's taken, who is that in the first episode? Blaze Man or something, Imran?
Yeah.
And he starts to get like angry. Like, oh, I'm changing my personality. I feel so enraged. It must be Blaze Man coming through me. So it's like this weird mental game in Mega Man, which I don't think has ever really been established
So
before.
the writing team behind the show is the people behind Ben 10, and it feels like they just kind of use that same script and concept for this one.
Oh, okay.
It
feels for like it's designed for a very young audience.
How do they handle
Yeah.
shooting? How do they do? Do they? Is it like
He just
Ninja
has a
Turtles?
pistol.
Well, is it like Ninja Turtles? They only fight robots with their weapons and punch everybody else. I mean, does he shoot robots? Does he shoot people? Do they call it a gun?
This Buster Cannon? What are you talking about?
It's Buster Cannon. Yeah.
Yeah, he fires the Buster Cannon.
Okay. I just would. I in modern like, I think people would look at that as just a gun, and I thought maybe they would like.
Oh.
They look
soften
like
it in
energy
some way.
shots, so
Yeah,
it's
and he
fine.
doesn't really do that much fighting, at least in the first 2 episodes, which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
I went back and watched some of the old show, and that show holds up better than maybe the new Mega Man one does. But
Decent animation.
I feel like we should watch Captain N, especially since like most of those characters are in Smash Brothers now. Just because that Mega Man is amazing.
yeah, the Mega.
So I should watch this.
100%. I think for the sake of curiosity, you watch enough garbage kid stuff, you
That is
should watch
true.
this
I
Mega
do
Man
watch
show
a
to
lot of
understand
garbage.
it.
Cupcake and Dino's a big one in the house.
There we
right
go. Evo,
Yeah.
check it out.
Yeah, they also announced. Well, they also released Goku and Vegeta.
That's
which
right.
They're pretty cool. I've played around with them some, and I think they are pretty cool.
Vegeta seems more interesting.
Yeah, he has his level 3 is the thing he killed Nappa with, which is pretty cool. And he also,
okay.
He also has like a grab move that is like him throwing you up in the air, so he can combo those two together.
Yeah.
Goku has his Kaioken is really cool. It's like a little difficult to use because you have to pull off the super and then follow it up with other buttons basically, and that'll change what you do.
Okay.
But it changes. Depending on how many team members you have left. So if it'll be the Kaioken if you have 3 characters, the Kaioken times 3 if you have 2 characters, and the Kaioken times 10, I think. If
Really?
Yeah, and then he gets different attacks based on that, and they
That's really
do more
cool.
damage.
That's
I'm
awesome.
really curious how that's going to work in the Switch version. Because like you can have modes where they're only doing 1-on-1 or 2-on-2.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Like,
Yeah.
He also has 2 spirit bombs. So he has one that is like one that he charges up, and then one that he fires instantly, but is super hard to combo into. But it deals I think it deals the most damage of any level 3
Does it go super slow?
Yeah. That's why, because
That sounds really fun.
he teleports up in the air, sort of throws it down, and it's like just this big 3D ball of like energy just falling through the stage.
Oh, that's fun. Also, forgot to mention in that Smash Direct, I loved it. That one of the assist trophies is just the moon from Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
And also, it's just completely annihilating stages as it goes through it.
Very morbid, Smash Brothers. This time around,
I don't
everyone's
think
dead.
I like
Everyone's
Smash
dying
anymore. It's scary. All right, you guys, our old fighting squad. Congratulations, Suriel. What should people Google if they want to read more in-depth reporting from you on Evo?
Just Google Game Informer, and we'll have stuff in the next issue.
Okay.
About Evo.
So Google how to get a subscription to Game Informer.
That's right.
That's right. You should Google that every day.
That's right.
Just Google it. All right.
I was at GameStop and I got one of those like platinum memberships because they were ending.
Okay.
And the lady asked me like, okay, where do we send your Game Informer subscription? And I laughed.
Oh no.
And she's like, don't laugh, it's really good. And I'm like, okay, thanks.
That's sweet. Thank you. Thank you for being on the front lines, everybody. All right. And thank you so much for watching or listening to this episode of the Game Informer Show podcast. Be sure to tune in next Thursday. We'll have another new episode waiting for you. Bye, everybody.